Hello, hello. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Did I do it? Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet again another episode of your favorite podcast, the Momentum Mod Team Q&A. My name is Nick, aka Gothnek. I'm the project and development lead of Momentum here with some of my lovely teammates to answer your burning questions. We have a lot of jank shit still. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna show off even more like tidbits of O10, and it's tidbits because it's not done. It's tidbits because it's not all hooked up and polished and looking nice. So we're just gonna show off like bits and pieces of it. We almost have run submission working and so on. So just hang with us. You'll see it start to come together. I'm hoping for the next two Q&As to really start to show the full process of like uploading a map, the whole process of like zoning, fixing a map with Lumper, uploading that, downloading it in game, and so on. So like you can see the full process of our new stack that we have. But I introduced myself. Let me go ahead and capture Lumia's screen here. Let's see if this works. Oh, it did. I just have to hide the game here. There we go. Perfect. Cool. So I can put this here, and then we'll be watching Lumia's gameplay here while we talk through the questions and get into what we've been up to. But you guys can go down the list. We'll go just down the Discord name list, starting with Lumia, and introduce yourselves, and we'll get going.
Starting with me. Hello. Hi, I'm Lumia. I mostly work on defrag, and right now I'm trying to figure out how to show you all a cool replay.
Oh yeah.
It's MomTV_replay test. There you go.
Okay. Who's next on the list?
So I guess while Lumia is doing that, I'll talk about this a bit. One of the systems that we have needed to completely overhaul was the replay system. For those that are in the game or have seen a lot of the gameplay through our streams or through other streams, there are replays of every run that you do. But the problem with that is that they were written at a time when the only game modes we had were Surf and Bunny Hop, which is not great for weapons or for weapon-based modes like Rocket Jump, Defrag, Sticky Jump, right? And so what we've done is effectively spent a long time looking at what's needed to be like recorded, and then Rio, one of our developers, ran through and just implemented this awesome system that is completely overhauling how runs are recorded, and it's even more efficient than the current replay format that we have in the game. So not only are weapons and just like weapon entities what you're shooting, right, what you do in the game recorded, it's also entities, right? Like you're gonna see the doors on the start of this map, RJ Beef, that gets recorded as well, and it's really awesome because you get to see a snapshot of the game from inside the game, and it's not necessarily a demo file at the same time too. Demo files are how Source Engine kind of records a like replay-esque experience, but it's the way that it plays it back is really inefficient for how we want to do things, especially if you want to race against a ghost. Like you can't really race against a demo. So we need our own format that's way more streamlined, way more focused on like the player entities and things like that. And yeah, so you're going to be seeing some of that here on Lumia's screen.
If I can get it to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all in place, but really, really jank right now. That's kind of how O10.0 is like the work, the spec work is done, the implementation work is almost done. Like it's like a lot of the core things are here, and you'll see these replays. We still have a bit of polishing and connecting to do. Like a lot of UI elements aren't working. Just a lot of like just once the actual system's in place, we can actually go through and like make it look good and make it work like with how a user would experience it. We don't want people to do console commands everywhere, right, in order to play their own replays. So we'll be hooking it up to like the leaderboards and everything, right? So we're just showing again just little tidbits, but it's there. It's just really jank. And then the next couple of Q&As will just be more cohesive, like everything's working together. And then hopefully by December, all of this will be kind of ironed out. We'll have a lot of just like polishing things to do. And then we'll have a nice 010 release for you guys, for everybody. So for those that haven't caught previous Q&As or have heard about it, we are planning to open up the playtest to everybody at 010. So that's aiming to be by the end of the year, assuming all of this, can hook up together and we don't really see any problems with anything. We've done a lot of spec work to make sure all the systems are recording everything that we need, and all the zone format stuff is decided. So it's really just a matter of finishing the implementation and hooking it up. There's no secrets or surprises that we're really anticipating that would cause such a massive delay or anything. So end of the year makes sense. But again, right, with it being volunteer and passion-based development, it can't really be a guarantee. We can't set December 1st or something, right? We can't set a date until we're about a week out from it. Before we know, because that last week will be kind of setting up for the release and getting ready. Oh, welcome back. Tom is back.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was.
No, it's all good. I'm just talking about what we're seeing on screen here.
Yeah.
I guess we can continue through the introductions of everybody, and then we'll get into I guess maybe more of the work. We can talk about the systems more, or we can go into the questions and then talk about the systems. But yeah, as you can see, the leaderboards aren't hooked up to local runs yet, but that we have the code for it. It's just a matter of searching a new folder.
Oh yeah,
and
leaderboards
parsing
are
it.
half there.
Yeah.
Leaderboards kind of could be working. We have a lot of stuff that's stupidly close to working, but
Honestly, I wonder if this doesn't work for me because I'm on 1x. I doubt any of this tested on 1x.
No.
That's true.
I just tested the release and it's working for me.
Yeah.
I can also screen share.
Sorry, what is
Yeah,
it
if
working?
you want to screen share. Replays.
The replays themselves aren't working. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah, maybe just
really jank. But we'll get through. Let's get through the people in the call, and then we'll talk about the jankness even more. So moving on to Gordy.
Hi, I am the web developer. I'm doing the backend and dashboard
One of the
for
web developers.
one of the web developers. Yeah, mainly the more useless one, I guess.
Well, no, you're useful.
Everyone's
recently.
useful. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't doing mostly anything recently, but I was doing the Discord notifications. So in the future, when the map will be released or when you will be added to public test in Momentum, you will see it in Discord, either in our server. So that's the thing I was working on recently. Yeah, and I'm doing also other stuff. I'm doing the reviews or of other people's code, mainly Tom's, and all that thing. Yeah.
We do so much fucking code review. We've gotten better at it. We do less than we used to, actually. We still really over review stuff.
Cool. Moving on to Panzer.
Hey, I'm Panzer. I make maps and tools. Sorry for the scuffed intro. All this stuff basically just got added to the game a few minutes ago. Lumia didn't have time to test it, so we're kind of just.
By the way, Goknak, if you can, while you're still streaming, switch to Panzer's screen share.
This stuff is working on my game. I don't know what's wrong with Lumia's game. It seems like he's doing the right commands, but it's just not working.
Spectators. I think I broke.
I mean, if you want to finish a run on this map, I could just show everybody the replay.
Yeah, I can send you my beef replay. Does it saves different files for the different courses? Do you just need the main one though?
Probably, yeah. Because that'll just be the full run. So yeah, this is a replay. It has all the weapons, unlike the old replay system where it didn't show your weapons.
What's nice is we kind of get these weapons for free, right? Or a lot of the fact that this stuff all works out is, it's kind of, the way we were planning on doing it before was a bit more scuffed. And the way we have stuff now, we kind of, it's very easy to make it so different weapons and entities and stuff show up without having to do a kind of extra work.
They are much smaller than Source Engine demos.
Yes.
Yeah, but also more stuff in them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and stuff. All it just makes sense.
Yeah, and if what we're looking at right now is actually like really cool for us, because for pretty much all of Momentum Mod's history, this kind of thing has not been possible in a replay. Actually seeing the weapons, the view models, the projectiles, everything. So I sent that that beef replay if you want to take a look at it, Panzer.
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Yeah, and replays or weapons are just one of the things. So, yeah, getting entity state as well, being able to see exactly how the map looks when going through it, because right now it's pretty scuffed. People, like you don't see where like rockets are going, and then the ghosts just phase through doors that are supposed to open. So it's kind of scuffed, but like with this new format, we're getting the door.
You get screen sharing, by the way, Panzer. Just
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
I don't full screen just game, so.
Uh-oh. Let me change that.
You didn't show anything like evil, but just
we're gonna revoke the whole thing our license immediately.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
But the whole thing about storing like map state and stuff like that's a genuinely really complex technical task that it took a lot of work to make even possible. A lot of this stuff is like, it might seem like, oh, you just do some code that puts this extra information in this replay or whatever, but with this it's I don't know quite the right way of explaining it. I'm just waving my hands around, but
So this is Lumia's replay. Yeah. So Lumia sent this replay over to Panzer, and Panzer was able to load it. So you can see there's rockets right now. You can see exactly where they're shooting, where the rockets are going. And once we get the replay controls, and there's the door that's opening. It's
doors
so
and
cool.
replays.
So cool.
This is genuinely really making that work is like
it's so crazy. Exciting to see this, because this has been.
And it's not working because of some hack. It's working because we're genuinely like storing all of this map state and entity state in the file, which is really hard. It's very like Force engine specific stuff.
Ducking is like immediate. Is it not smoothing the duck?
It looks instant for me. I don't know if that's a setting that I need to change.
It's like
that could very well just be a replay file problem.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Okay, yeah.
So there's still some things to iron out, like with making it be as if you're playing the game, right? We don't want it to look too janky.
Also, the timer works.
Yes, and you can see the timer. Yeah.
I think we have comparisons just disabled right now, but
timer or comparisons are not finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not seeing like their current zone in the replay, so it doesn't say like course 3 right now.
The other thing we don't have yet that we probably won't have for 010, but we might have quite soon after, are ghosts, like replay ghosts.
Yes.
Which
that's to race against any run, basically. Your PBs, your friends' PBs, like the goal is to have
the funny thing about that is like doing that work to get that in from where we are now is like relatively little work. It might seem like that's like the stuff we're showing off right now, like it doesn't look as if
I didn't even know this. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to enter like free look to like look at the replay in third person, but it's like navigating the replay. It's jumping ahead.
I think I can fast forward and rewind and stuff, which is also not something you can do with
demos.
Source engine demos.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can like kind of change the timescale on the replay. I haven't messed around with that. Like this system is so new, I don't even know what's possible. Rio would know, but Rio's not on right now.
Yeah, and it's incredible to see it. The goal here is that you have entity state playback, but also be able to exit the replay, right? Be able, like, if you get stuck on like a stage or a jump or something like that, you can load up a replay, see how to do it with the entity state and where to fire rockets and everything, and then go back into the game and be able to try to do that. That's very important for a lot of maps, right? A lot of people tend to get stuck on maybe like later stages and stuff, and you don't want to sacrifice an entire run or like potentially like quit your run in order to see where to go. So this is a big thing there. And then for players that want to see does it draw a name?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Look at this.
It's like straight. Oh, that's right. Okay, so another thing about this system is that we actually have.
I can't move around. It's changing my movement controls to the replay skip ahead controls. I can't. But like in theory, the ghost should work when you're in a run. Like it shouldn't be that hard for us to set that up.
Yeah,
it's really funny. just minor bugs like that. But the nice thing about this is ghosts, online ghosts, and replay ghosts are now uniformly under the same system. So ideally, networked ghosts can just use this same system. Instead of recorded
Cool.
data, it's just networked data, and you still have. Oh, okay. We don't have our
Harry
player model
Potter
in
on
yet.
his broomstick.
Yeah, he's riding his rocket boomstick. Yeah. Um, and yeah, the goal would be able to to make awesome replay or sorry showcase like videos of runs, right? TF2 RJ Weekly, shout outs. Oh yeah, there are some props that are like missing from playback as well. So there's sometimes like the doors like disappear currently, but it's just really minor stuff that once we figure it out and get that in, it's going to be a really nice and polished experience.
I think the doors disappearing there is actually just because they weren't in the PVS. I think Panzer like moved the camera to spawn.
Oh,
that's
I
part
think
of the
that's-
like optimizations that we do is like we don't record entities when you can't see them.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
I
Okay.
think that's probably the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, a big part of this for us is a lot of this underlying technology is important for our anti-cheat as well. And so one of the big use cases of this kind of tech, people won't really see, like
Right.
they don't get to use it. But for us, it means we can do the AC stuff we want.
Yeah, and I mean it's awesome seeing this, and like this is just the start, right? Like we can start to like see how like different player models will look and stuff like with the cosmetic system in the future. Like there's so many like things on top of this, but having this core system, right? Having the ability to play any run at any time, even during your run, is really important, right? To be able to enjoy a map.
This is going to look so much better when there's like actual player models,
Yes.
not cubes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
gonna
gonna be
like
sick.
big cube here, Panzer.
We do have we do have a player model, and I'll be working on hooking that up. So hopefully we get that within the next couple of updates.
I think my game crashed because I'm in like an observer mode that was not tested.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's
So I
fair.
can't switch replays while I'm in that like third person observer mode. Oh well, I can restart the stream.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's all coming together. We're all really excited. And it's like it's jank, but it's so beautiful at the same time. Like I'm really happy that this is like this was carefully planned out and executed well by Rio, and like this is going to be like really really important. Like this isn't, this is probably along with maps, right? The most important feature of the game, right? Being able to see the runs that you've done and others, right?
That is kind of the most. It's a frustrating part of momentum, but this kind of inevitable thing. There is just quite a lot of systems that we spent a while on in the past and just didn't do very well. And some of those systems we can keep, but quite a lot of them have ended up just needing redoing.
Yeah.
And
like for reference, I started Momentum Mod when I had no idea what C++ even was. So a lot of these older systems, like the old timer code and stuff from like 2016, when I was still gripping like the idea of C++, a lot of that has been cleaned up like a ton and done extremely well. And yeah, I'm not even like upset or sad about seeing that code go. I am like, thank God, right? We have a much more maintainable code base now.
It's still crashing when I switch replays. I think I have to like end a replay and then start a new one or something.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really easy to fix crashes that we probably should have.
Yeah, no, this would take 2 seconds. I just never tested this, to be honest. I'm working on other systems, not replays.
Yeah. We're moving fast and breaking everything. It's great. But that's I mean, I'll keep letting that play.
Just to go through like of the kind of really big systems that we've had to redo of with OTAN, we basically have had the stuff that was most important to us that was really bad. Basically, all of it we've had to redo, and that's basically done now. So of our back end and a lot of our front end stuff of our website, that was like, done by people that didn't have that much experience with that stuff, and yeah, it didn't last. We had to rewrite the whole back end. That's been done for a while. The zoning system, we basically had to completely redo. That's been done for a while. Replay system, we had to completely redo, and kind of through doing that, we quite easily get like new features.
Yeah.
Of stage and bonus times and stuff working. We've not done styles yet, but those were really quite easy. Lots of stuff that kind of, I don't know, like Momentum is a funny project because a lot of game dev is a lot about this kind of fast iteration and not completely overdoing sort of over elaborate systems. But I guess
I hope this
for
crash.
us,
Crash. Oh, crash. Okay. It wasn't crashing when I did.
For us, there have been, quite a few systems that were just completely unwieldy the way that they were built, and yeah.
That's the beauty of software engineering. If you can't go a couple years and look back at your code and be like, oh my god, what was I thinking?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's also a kind of
growing,
frustrating,
right?
and especially when like the end goal of this is just to make a game, and when there's only so much that you want to like spend time refactoring just so you can make some system be designed the perfect way.
Yeah.
But when you get these systems that are, I guess the primary criteria is that they're very heavily interconnected with one another and a lot of moving parts that have to interface with each other. It is so essential that you do design those in a sensible way. And kind of pick your battles and work on the right stuff. But yeah, having new replays, going from this after 10 into starting to do AC work, is going to be really great because the system is really designed with that in mind and quite doable, just really complicated. But I've also, I think we've all been incredibly impressed by Rio specifically. Not that, we have loads of people on this project doing great work, but I think the overall design of the new zones and replays, which have been primarily been worked on by Rio, though a lot of it's been other people as well. There's a real kind of well thought outness to it, not just in the kind of design, the kind of technical specifications, but in the actual implementation details. It's just very pragmatic and very effective and very usable without being kind of unwieldy and spaghetti like these systems can quite easily be.
Yeah, using modern C++ stuff.
Modern C++ stuff is nice. Actually using fucking like namespaces for stuff and not making it those kind of quality of life things that really are very. Oh my god, I just like being able to actually use fucking lambdas for stuff now. It's nice. But...
All right. I guess we can finish the introductions because we kind of hijacked it with the gameplay. So I believe Mac, Tom, and XB, you guys are the last three, and then we'll get going into our questions here.
Mac,
oh, I hate this part.
Mac's the only one that's muted in the call.
Oh,
I'll go.
gotcha. Yeah.
I'm Tom. I'm web systems lead. I think is my official title. Yeah, I do a lot of the website stuff and other stuff. Yeah, at the moment I've been working on map selector, map cage stuff. We've done this really fancy system for the new map selector stuff of storing all of the maps kind of in anticipation for all the new maps getting added after a 10, and it's a bit complicated because there's sort of multiple different sources of data. If some stuff is just from these static files, it's just flat, like compressed JSON data, and then we have this user-specific data, and then we also have whether the map exists or not, and private testing maps and stuff. It's complicated. I think I've finally kind of cracked it. I've been really slow with it because I'm really bad at C++. So I feel like I'm actually getting the hang of like some of the harder stuff now. So that's nice. Sorry, I don't know if it's talking about what we're doing or what just who we are. I'm just keep saying what I've been doing.
We can make some.
So yeah, the map submission has been kind of almost done for a while now, but I've only just been like fully getting it completely hooked up to the game. So that's nearly there. I was hoping to get it to show it off this Q&A, but it's not quite done. It's nearly there. Oh my god! I love that you have to turn that
Wait,
down.
hold on. It's not recording my time.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. There's. Oh, okay.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's terrifying.
Yeah, we need like a
I can't
hub
believe you made this
like
bullshit.
timer.
I was not sharing audio, and I'm glad.
Good. I had to lower my volume to like 10%.
Yeah.
Oh wait, does this?
God.
Oh god, this branch has the disable bunny hop thing enabled.
Oh.
Oh.
God.
I'm not getting
That's
speed.
not bad, so.
Yeah, hold on, I can fix it. There we go.
Good
Yeah,
news.
let's move fast. Yeah, the new zone systems. I don't know if the old system supported bonuses, but this one definitely does.
Kind of, but not very well.
Such a graceful loop.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is peak mapping.
Honestly, I mean, this is very B-Hop Frankerface Z vibes.
Yeah. When you're streaming it, the bitrate really holds up.
Yeah, this is putting
Or
HXC
Franker Z. Yeah,
for
Franker Z.
faces.
I see the
This would be a
end.
great defrag map.
Yeah. And that records a replay that I can watch right away.
Well, great. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Do we even record like sound in it? Do we have
No.
like songs looping and stuff? That might be something we have to
Oh,
look
I don't know
into.
if the sound entity is like synced.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was. Do we?
Oh, interesting. The fog doesn't show up in the replay.
Wait,
It's an entity.
oh, it is an entity. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't get recorded. Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, well that's another thing we need to record.
I reported most of the issues to Rio, but I didn't get the fog one, so I'll add that to the list.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I love that the replay system now records like stage replays, bonus replays, the whole track, like the whole main track replay. It's way more robust.
Oh, the new replays are so good.
Yeah,
Sorry for making me watch this twice.
but it works. That's what we're showing.
Yeah.
Is that when you do a bonus, this is a bonus stage. It now also records, and then we will be hooking up the submission for that as well. Probably soon after O10, or were we gonna try to get it in for O10? I forget.
Of course, we're doing it for 10. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because
Well,
we're already doing it for the.
Oh, sorry. As in, are we doing like bonus submission stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bonus
No,
submission,
the back end code for that is pretty there already. I did some of
Nice.
that a couple months back. Me and Ray just need to go through and just do the HTTP side of it. Shouldn't be that bad. I guess there's like multi-part form woes, but we'll figure that out.
I'm terrible at this stage. It's so hard.
But yeah, so we're talking about O10 all the time. This is also O11 that we're showing off now. What we're just showing is like basically O11, which is now part of O10.
But
This
it's
whole replay
necessary for
refactor
O10.
system is yeah. There's so much. It would be so awkward trying to like shoehorn the existing replay stuff into this, and we're not desperate to hit milestones just for the sake of hitting them. I think that's a really bad attitude, right? Like we do with this stuff, we would have spent a long time making a system work with a new system just to then redo that system in the next update. So we didn't bother. So, O10's taken a lot longer than planned, but at the same time, we've got way more stuff in it than planned. And this is really... There's other stuff we need to do before, like, the kind of crucial AC work, but this is a really fundamental part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing with project planning that I've learned over the years is that you really just need to focus on the, like, bare minimum, and then, like, everything else is, like, sugar, or powdered sugar on top of it.
Yeah.
Because the moment that you start to be like, oh, well, we could like be a little, we can move this out to, 11 could be the replay system because it's a huge system and should be its own thing. But, instead of looking at, like the replay system is jank and it makes more sense to redo it now to just support everything and also makes anti-cheat. Like, it's like, do you want to do this work like as part of this, overhaul, or do you want to just kind of like live with jank for a while?
Right. But also, any time that you write like a kind of milestone kind of board like this, you kind of try to plan stuff out. It's important not to then become dogmatic, just trying to stick to that, just because that's how you designed it 5 years ago, whatever. Like the pragmatism is and also just being ready to just reevaluate stuff as you're going. Like it's a guideline that you set for yourself that has a purpose but isn't essential.
It's why a lot of companies do agile and stuff, where it's just you don't even really plan other than like the next, at most, like 6 to 8 weeks out. Right?
Well,
so
yeah, but I think with some of the work we're doing right now, we are very much focusing on the kind of main thing we need next, and not thinking too much about how we kind of go about making that.
Wait, is it a linear?
Well, it's a bonus, so it doesn't like have any
checkpoints.
Gotcha. Save restart or whatever.
We can do checkpoints and bonuses now if we want.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you?
There are checkpoints. Actually, you should be able to see them.
Oh.
I don't know why I don't see them. I see the one. Well, no, that's a start for a different bonus.
Yeah. I think it only shows you like the next one. For some reason. It doesn't render.
Yeah, but I should see it up there. I didn't see it last time.
Okay.
Maybe I just didn't add checkpoints to this bonus. Possible. I think I wanted to like not add checkpoints just so you can like skip around those top sections if you wanted to. I'm not sure. I did this a while ago. Also, it's kind of hard for me to play because my frame rate is not. It's a little jittery. I'm not in debug. I'm in the release mode, but it's still not as good as like the Steam version for some reason.
That's weird.
I feel like you might have.
Maybe I have to disable developer.
That shouldn't affect
maybe.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still jittery. I'm gonna do a different stage and care about this gas bonus.
Yeah, I don't know why it would.
Do you have your like CMake directory split up? Do you have a separate directory completely for release and debug, or is it?
No, it's.
I don't know.
Well, that puts the build into two separate.
It does now. Yeah. I forgot if that was something that everyone had now. Look at Scout's knives.
I got too greedy. Oh yeah, it kind of is. Tioga made this bonus.
Oh,
we had Scout's knives in mind. This is supposed to be for tails, so you're supposed to like fly around, I guess.
I feel like he did because it's the exact like the edges are like the same. The bevel.
Yeah, they have bevels like the Scouts maps.
It was fun maps. Good stuff.
They did it.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna attempt the fast bonus. This one that gives like speed mod. This one's freaking hard.
Oh, wow.
I'm on stage 3. I could do the first stage, I think, but the other stages are pretty rough.
It's Gustan.
Is it? Oh, it's just okay. It's upping your time scale.
Yeah, I don't know how much faster. I think it's like maybe 50% faster.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, while you play here, we'll oh wait, no, XB has to do their intro, and then we'll
Yeah. I'll try not to like spark off like a 20-minute discussion like the last ones.
We have like couple questions, just do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm fairly inactive, but I'm mainly a surf mapper. I've been working on the learn section with Brannis, but like not much has happened in the past few like months really. But it's still in pretty much an experimental stage. We're trying to figure out like what's the most effective way of teaching people stuff like surf. And there's some arguments to be made because I think we were coming at it with like a surf mapping perspective where it's like, oh, we make stages and like there's an end to each stage, and that's kind of how we structured it. But it's kind of time to start experimenting with other things to see like how people would rather learn rather than just doing a sequential ordered stage map.
Yeah, especially with like the O10. After O10, we plan on like kind of trying to organize, learn stuff a bit more, and get some of the programming side of it getting worked on and UI stuff.
Yeah.
And doing kind of R&D in the meantime seems like a really good approach. It's so hard, like teaching people stuff like surf. Like it's quite an unintuitive movement that is quite hard to explain, and so
yeah, it's kind of a balance of making something that's like enjoyable and engaging for new players, but also like you want them to be repeating the basic techniques so that they get them down more consistently rather than just like doing it once.
But yeah, being able to also like really like try to do it as a kind of like boot camp so that you can then go forward and play maps rather than kind of like its own kind of like staged map, you know, where we don't have to. I feel like we don't need to worry too much about boring people. But sorry, this is your section. Now I'm just waffling about Learn stuff. Learn's so interesting though. Like there's.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to discuss because I haven't touched the website in like a year. So,
no, fuck websites.
Websites suck.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think the last like actual code contribution I made was like a 1-line change in Lumper, like a year ago.
You can
But that's
some web stuff if you want or whatever. But yeah.
It's all good. I mean, it just
maybe we should just
adds...
rewrite the back end again, so we have more work to do.
It has it emphasizes just how we're set up with just things happen, you know, like people come and go, and also just have things that take up their time. Like they don't leave, they just can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's just like a oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm getting so stressed by watching.
I know,
like,
this is like terrifying.
Pretty unpleasant.
Jamming out to the music though, at least. Let me see if I can turn that up a little. There we go. Yeah, so like it just shows that this is a passion project in our free time.
Yeah.
We have
This is so hard.
Yeah. We have just different things that happen in real life, so it can cause different parts of the project to be held up or just, you know, kind of be in free fall until either people can regroup around it and see where to go from there. So a lot of things that could be done in parallel, like learn section or things like that, if we don't have someone taking charge or being able to kind of like, you know, experiment around and see where things can go, it just kind of gets on hold for a bit while we focus on other things, and then we'll come around to it. But
also, as a project, like we're much, you know, most other game dev projects are more balanced in terms of what developer time goes where.
Yeah.
We are primarily programming, right? And the art and mapping side of with campaign stuff, it'll be a lot more balanced, I expect. But like with something like Momentum, there's so much of it is spent on, you know, game development, programming. All of our game dev kind of stuff is in pretty much always in C++, a little bit of TypeScript. It's not, we don't have Blueprint or whatever, or, you know.
Right.
Then the big part of it is also the web systems, more programming, mapping, and art stuff. There's a considerably less of it, and sound as well. You know, there's just not that much need for it, and it's especially hard, I think, for team members who are mostly mappers or whatever. Like, there's also just not that much. I think we could get better at this, and I think we have a little bit, but like in you know, trying to keep it so other team members have like a reason to be around. It's often people just kind of drift off just because there's not that much stuff for them to do, and that's very natural. But yeah, I think with Learn after a 10 that we can really go at it, especially because there's like art stuff as well to do with like match styling as well. But it'll be great to really get more people involved with Learn. Also, we'll probably bring more people on board, so if you want to get involved with Learn after a 10, should keep an eye out and be in our Discord and stuff, because that would be fun if you're a mapper or artist or whatever.
I just realized the capture was like cropped at the top. Very weird. Sorry about that.
All right, maybe I should show something else. This is exhausting.
That's fair.
It's so intense.
Cool. Well, that leads to, I guess, our first asked question. while we get, do you want to show something off, or do we want to switch back to our current version?
Back to normal.
Yeah, we can go back to the playtest build, I think.
All right,
This is
sweet.
pretty much everything. I just had like 3 maps I wanted to show off.
All right. Cool. Okay.
Also, you can check voice team. I found an issue with 935.
Okay.
Oh, it's that shit
well,
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
Let's do it after Q&A. Come on.
Yeah. Very interesting, actually. All right. Well, going back to the main game. Oh yeah, I'm in yours. Okay, cool. I could play or I could spec. So.
I can play for a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, actually, no. Give me like 30 seconds.
Cool. So, does somebody want to read the questions? The like 4 of them that we have this time?
Yeah, just 1 second.
All good. I'll play a little while we're waiting. So somebody was asking about online. Yes, we do have online. The way that online works is that it's really just networking information as soon as we can. We don't synchronize game state until I think you start to spectate somebody. But even then, we're not like synchronizing. We're just going to change your local game to be the same entity state as the person you're spectating. So like it's not about being on the same ping or being on like, you know, being in the exact same tick together. It's about having kind of shared state that you can at least synchronize to show. So the idea behind our multiplayer is that you don't have ping. So like I'm playing as if I'm in a lobby or just in a game by myself. But you can see we have Regular, we have Panzer, we have Tom. Everyone's here, but it doesn't affect how I'm playing. And if I lag or whatever, all that happens is they stutter. Your game should not stutter from having people join or having people.
But then you lag, as in your internet connection stutters.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there could still be like game stutters from like I don't know, hardware.
Yeah. But there's
stuff.
nothing that you're doing is constrained by networking.
Yeah.
There's just no.
And yeah, you can chat. But the nice thing is that you also notice Glyph is in the lobby and Glyph is in another map. So lobbies are a layer on top of our game that you can join. Multiplayer in general is a layer on top of the game that you can join and then go into different maps and still like interact with people. Voice chat, you know, text chat, and voice chat's coming in.
We will. Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole idea here is that you can still be networked, and then when you're in the same map is when it actually like networks like where people are and everything. So you can have spectating still, right? You can still watch people. You don't have to watch just a replay, right? You can still watch people play the map like live within a second or two, right? But yeah, like that's why we're not really ever. We could show ping.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You made it. We could show ping, but it's not really that important. Like we wouldn't want people to get the misnomer that my ping is bad or like over a second. Like there's no bad ping. So we could probably put it behind some kind of like dev
This
panel.
game sucks.
Yeah. What the fuck, these servers. But yeah. You can also see the weapons that people are holding. I think actually our current multiplayer is a little busted with that. Like I don't think you're holding this gun right now, are you?
I am. I just have view models off.
So
I don't
gotcha.
really know
Okay.
what gun I'm holding. I don't even have like plus attack bound to anything.
Yeah. This is the railgun, which I think is the.
Oh, okay.
Or is it the
SMG? Yeah. No, it replaces this. There is a railgun in defrag, but it's also like the scout.
Yeah.
It plays that role just
because realistically we don't need too many unique weapon models. We could in the future if cosmetics start to go crazy, we could start to separate out which model can be used for what, but for now we're just kind of simplifying the work that our 3D artist has to do.
Ethan had a fucking brutal task of doing like all of these defrag weapons and he sets a very high standard for himself, and I think a lot of our weapon models are great.
Yes.
They could, I think, look a bit better in our game in engine in some ways, and I think some of the rigging and animation could be improved a little bit. Like the knife right now looks slightly like I'm riding a bicycle. But the core model itself is really great.
Yeah.
That's a big part of doing art stuff, and one of the reasons why I'm particularly not a fan of Source 1 is like just the tooling's very old, so doing animation stuff tends to be a bit worse, and like just a lot of kind of I don't know why I'm reselling it so much, but also I'm bad at Behop. But yeah, personally I just play with view models off like in every game that I can. So
Do we want to get into the first question?
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's get going.
It's the Roady one, right?
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
studio one, yeah.
Yeah, so Roady is asking who is the strongest team member based on powerlifting totals.
Does
I'm-
everyone on the team even power lift?
Really unfit.
I'm really strong, but I'd never lift weights. I'm all about calisthenics.
Yeah.
What?
Do
rock climbing
pull-ups,
stuff.
rock climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scientology or what is that?
I skipped arm day for a decade. I just have really powerful legs.
I'm
I have
just
strong legs too.
You can squat like
really
no
unfit.
other.
Like I was a hockey player, and then I would just like bike everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've just got legs and nothing else.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, I'm starting to go, it's cool. My work has a gym after, like it has a gym, but there's a gym class too. I've started to go to that. I don't,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah, and I've been
Sorry.
like deadlifting.
Sorry for
and stuff.
laughing at you. It's just the idea.
No,
of just, like,
it's hilarious. Me getting in
this is
shape is
mad.
actually really cool.
I'm glad you're there.
No, I feel great.
Do you ever
now.
get on Walter's thing?
Wait, on what? Sorry.
The cat
On
wheel.
the cat wheel.
Oh yeah, no.
That could be like a Twitch unlock.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Nick
put a point.
uses the cat wheel.
Yeah, I just go in
Like,
there and start
a
running on
million
it.
bits or whatever.
No, Walter's sleeping on his shelf. But yeah, no, I've been. It's the same thing too. Before I was doing that, I was doing a bunch of like bicycling. So I didn't.
I hate this game.
I
Can you
guess
expect
my
someone else?
thighs are
I'm-
stronger than my arms are currently, but yeah, no, I've been really enjoying it. I have been able to like deadlift 100 pounds, but that's nothing. That's like I'm just starting. So I guess
Yeah.
I'm the strongest so far. But if someone can deadlift more than that, which I can assume there's at least 3 people that can, like yeah, that's the current record. But we'll see how much stronger. Maybe this could be a recurring question, Roady, and we just keep asking me how much I can deadlift, and by the like next year, I'm like deadlifting like 300 pounds.
How much do you think Momentum Man could lift?
Oh, like the whole
Well, he's
world.
yeah,
He's super powerful.
yeah. Sorry, did you say can lift? Could.
Yeah.
Could
yeah.
it?
Could.
Yeah,
My personal best for pull-ups is 16.
That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. I can barely do 10.
Are you serious? That's actually really hard.
It's really hard. Yeah. But no, I'm getting more like form right now. Like my like first couple of weeks have been just kind of figuring out form for all of the exercises, and then starting to set goals like after I get the form down. So
Right. I mean, when I first started getting into fitness, I couldn't do a single pull-up. Like pull-ups are not easy.
I
they
probably
are not
couldn't.
easy. Yeah.
I don't really have a use for my arms.
Playing defrag.
Yeah.
You gotta hit those snap zones.
You're gonna have to. What if you have to grip your mouse really hard to do
Yeah.
something precise?
Get the claw
It's
grip
just-
going.
Yeah.
Train your hand muscles. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just really unfit. I'm probably the least fit person on the Momentum team. Me or I'm sorry. Why am I thinking about that out loud? Who else is really unhealthy on the team?
Yeah.
Me?
Just
I guess.
Let's
I
list off
literally
all the
was not-
scrawny people.
Yeah, I literally was not doing anything for a long time, but yeah, cycling won me over, and then yeah, I'm starting to actually like build my
I
strength
can't
back.
fucking be.
Yeah.
I need to start actually cycling IRL.
It's so much
But
fun.
as in, I'm mostly cycling like an exercise bike I've got, but it's so fucking boring.
It
And
is really boring, yeah.
I'm miserable when I'm like doing stuff. Like I can't even listen to like podcasts and stuff. I just get bored.
Well, even just going on a walk, you could get some like.
Yeah.
My friend does a weighted vest, on his walks.
A
And
weighted
that,
vest.
yeah.
Okay.
hmm If
Oh
it's
shit!
nice
I have a
out.
weighted blanket, but that's because I have like insomnia.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
put
Just
just
wrap
put
that
that
on.
on and
Yeah, just take that. I think it's actually like unpleasantly heavy. I'm hoping to get I should go for walks more, and right now I'm waiting. I'm on a wait list to get dog, and so until dog, no walk.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
need dog.
Yeah, the dog will really help
Yeah.
motivate you going out. Yeah, the main thing is
Yeah,
just
dog.
motivation. It sucks to not have it, but with like my work stuff, it's like, oh my god, I'm like
Yeah.
I'm already on campus, like I'm already here, so why not? So
yeah.
it's been really nice. I feel like it's just really good to work out.
My
It
my
feels good.
exercise right now is just like manual labor, and then
That's
like I'm
good.
too tired to like do anything that would actually like get me buff or whatever.
That's fair. You don't have to build like giant muscles, you know. You can just
Yeah.
tone, and yeah, manual labor can do
But
that.
hopefully, when I get a software job, I'm either just not going to be active at all and I'm going to waste away, or I'm going to like actually do some active outside of like work hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Vim count as exercise?
It can be. I mean, exercising your
It's
brain is
different kind.
Yeah.
you know, still exercise.
Yeah, how if your brain was muscles, how much could it deadlift?
Well,
Isn't it? Or
you know, I'm a well-educated, stupid person, so not very much. I can give the impression of that, but yeah. Oh my god, I love this map. This is, by the way, this
Yeah.
is member Trazlox, who's one of our he's our
UI.
UI guy mainly. He does media stuff as well. He's like head of media, is like his technical role, I think, right? But
Yeah.
we need to start yelling at Traz for we need to start recording some stuff for the O10 release video at some point soon.
Oh yeah.
It'd be great to get zone visual stuff in by then, but who knows? I think Vortex might be working on that, but I'm not sure how much time he's had.
This is easily one of the best B-Hop maps.
It's
I think
just-
this is a genuinely great map. Yeah.
and the textures are genuinely like old school, like 64 by 64, like tiny texture.
Yeah, but
it's really
legal to use.
beautiful.
Traz made them. Yeah. No,
Mhm.
no, I think you got the look of it really good, and yeah. No, but gameplay's great. I think this is like a properly good B-Hop map.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to make the spec UI less bad.
Yeah, but
There's so much stuff to do on this project.
well, speaking of stuff to do, thank you, Roady, for that question. We'll move on to the next one.
All
Yeah,
right.
can someone do more work so I can spend time powerlifting instead of working on momentum?
It's all about a balance.
For every pull request someone does, I'll do like a pull up.
Can you watch
curls,
Panzer, please?
20, you're just gonna wait and just do like 20 curls for each like code comment you have to make.
I don't
Send-
even know what that is.
I'm gonna
In
send
review.
you a push request. I'm gonna put a tire outside of your house. You have to flip it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then once you finish the
Sure.
review, you can ride in the tire back.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I did tire lift. Tire lift is no joke. That shit's hard.
Yeah. I can't even do like spoon lift. Or,
That's
like,
not good. You need that to eat.
You do. Yeah, I just generally sort of
You just slop
put
it
my
in.
head down in the bowl and just kind of like
How do you lift your head back up? Is that a challenge? Do you need help with that?
harness.
Oh, yeah, pulleys. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, no, I've got this kind of big I've got one of those Baron Harkonnen things, you know, the big flying things. Those are good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Daylight is asking, is there going to be in-game purchases? Not with money, but
Yes.
there can be with points.
Exactly. Not with money. We cannot make money directly from the game. We can make money through merch. We can make money through the OST. We can make money through donations that you give to us without any reward or anything, but we cannot make money directly in game. So the cosmetics and the idea behind the cosmetics is that we do not want to do loot boxes or random, cosmetics. We want to do progression based ones. So you'll get cosmetics for doing things like milestones, or you'll be getting something called units as a currency for playing the game. Just kind of beating maps, playing the game, you'll get this currency that you can then go into the in-game store and buy whichever cosmetic that you would like. The main thing about cosmetics, and Tom and I have talked a lot about this, is that we do need to see, first of
Sorry about
all,
that.
what is a valid cosmetic that people would want, and second of all, is there enough artist demand, or I guess like enough effort behind, because we want to potentially use the workshop in order to
Yeah.
introduce more cosmetics into the game. It'd be very nice to have kind of a TF2-esque system where you can see cosmetics or maybe even try them out before they're in game, but then have, when it's officially added, have it behind the store and something that you pay with that currency. And then that way you have the best of both worlds. You have the ingenuity of your community in place, and then also a nice way that it's not just an open workshop, everyone has Mario or something, right? Like it's not a crazy like IP infringement fest, right? Like that kind of
But
thing
also, like,
is
it's
scary for us because we don't want to draw the ire of Nintendo or Disney or something.
of
But
course,
at the same
yeah.
time, we want to have cosmetics that are fun and like meaningful to unlock, right? Because when you're in a lobby or when you're doing a run, right, your replay, your player model, your weapon models, we could have effects, we'd have taunts. We want to have more social features inside of the lobbies.
Well, we're
So you
saying
can,
so. Yeah, what we're saying, we talked about it like this. Sorry, like a couple early this week, right? And every time we talk about cosmetics, I have like a little existential crisis because there's so much other shit to do. But cosmetics are a cool idea, and I think we were saying maybe this isn't really decided, but I personally, I've been pushing to not do custom player models because I think those easily get out of hand, and I'm worried about like Fortnite, and I don't want Benedict Cumberbatch skins in like Momentum. But
we don't want that
I
Marvel
don't know.
money.
Maybe we end up doing it, but it's just
I mean,
the
that kind of thing. People can mod that into the game. It's just we don't want to like make everyone see them.
It's not making stuff that's like obnoxious. Like not everyone needs to have like a what is it like the lime green like most obnoxious hat in TF2 or whatever it was. Like no one needs to have like a hot pink gibbous like like TF2 stuff.
I saw a scout with a lime green hat at PAX. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But I think we're keen on like I like the idea of having like not really complex, but like having cosmetics that are still like you can mix and match, right? And I like the way TF2 does it, where you can really do like weird combination and stuff and all that kind of thing. But Garetta says, "Tom, how dare you trash on the gibbous?" I love the gibbous. I think it is one of an ironic gibbous TF2 loadout is a valid one. I used to have like multiple unusuals on one, like my sniper loadout in TF2, and now I just have a gibbous, and I feel so much happier about my life. But okay, so we were quite keen on the kind of TF2 style loadout system of like, you can have like 3 cosmetics and like mix and match stuff, but not like you still have like a player model that like is. I like the idea of that for like the momentum. Like we still have our core player model and then add stuff to it, but that's still something that is kind of up in the air, and it's maybe me just being a killjoy about stuff. I don't know, but I just bring that up just because we were sort of talking about it, and I every time I bring this up, I get really like antsy about cosmetics, and it's not really reasonable, and I don't mean to be like a complete cynic about all of it.
It's a valid concern to have for if we don't have enough, right? Like if we launched a cosmetic system with 3 things, everyone's just going to get those 3 things, right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're approaching it carefully so that we have distinct categories of cosmetics that we want to have, that players will also want to have, and then having the talent behind maybe even like trying to commission some of them. Like it's a lot of work to make a player model. So if we do player models,
Yeah.
right, like we got to make sure that it's to the right standard, and just opening workshop to maybe with these categories in mind and just seeing what the community comes up with, as potential cosmetics, because that I see that being the way that we do cosmetics is we announce the idea behind it, right? You collect units and stuff, and we just start seeing how much people have on average, and then we can start to see what prices make sense for different things, and then we can start to introduce cosmetics in batches as we see it happen on the workshop. But yeah, right now it's like we don't really have a distinct plan other than just simple cosmetics around the built-in player model, because we want you to be able to customize it as well.
But also, the like making it's much more accessible making stuff as a player model. Sorry, I interrupted you again. I do this so much. I need a big like buzzer that comes up every time I interrupt Nick. It's so bad.
It's
We
like a
should actually
little
do
light
We
that
should-
turns on. I can see it, and I'll like wrap up my sentence.
We could do like a Discord soundboard thing. Just
Oh yeah.
but I think we nearly finished. But like, okay, so doing like whole custom player models like a really big thing as well. So
Yeah.
if we could make it so we have making cosmetics relatively accessible. I've done bits of modeling stuff before. Maybe I'd mess around with like doing cosmetic stuff. It's still 3D modeling. It's like not an easy thing to do, right? And so
Yeah.
we need
Rigging,
to make like
animation too. It's not just the model now, right?
depends
Like,
how much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one thing we can try to make right straightforward is provide like a kind of neutral kind of base cosmetic that has some stuff rigged up and we can build off that, maybe that kind of thing. It's
That's
also
a good-
presumably quite a little easy if we only have the one base player model, right? And that's the thing is that we hope that we can get cosmetic stuff to work, but there is always just the possibility that we just don't get enough people making cosmetics for it to really be meaningful, and that's this kind of contingency that kind of just is constantly worrying me with cosmetics.
Yeah, there is
It's
the question
the-
from Bird or lack of a wider Bird, about like what do cosmetic makers get out of it, and other than it being in the game with enough, like I guess like enough of a what is it like advertisement for who made it, right? Like having the author, having like the artist that made the things that you're wearing be very visible. We don't really have a solution. We can't pay people unless we commission them directly.
Right.
We can't really
It'll
pay
be, I mean, it'll be
people
hard to,
have
we
in the
might get
game.
to a point where Valve would allow some kind of financial thing if we. Problem is, like, Valve probably wouldn't mind Momentum doing some kind of in-game purchases like this. It's just we don't want to turn Momentum into this kind of large kind of for-profit thing because it becomes incredibly complicated in all sorts of ways. Shall we switch to Big Hop Arcane, by the way, just because Dior brought it up?
Oh yeah.
That's
One thing that I'm thinking of is in TF2 there are map stamps that people can buy that just support the mapper.
Yeah.
Like I think most of the money from that just goes straight to the mapper.
And
so I don't know if we could have something similar to that where it's just all going to the person that made it and then we're not making any money off of it.
I think it's a really good idea, and also, we're really keen on encouraging donations to mappers. We changed our social stuff recently, so we have like you can put your, I think it's Patreon, Ko-fi, and PayPal, or you can put on your profile now, and we could even add some stuff to the map page, like include an icon for that or whatever in on the map page. Especially people are making like maps that people appreciate, like Dior just said. Panzer, I just want to say thank you for your work on Big Hop Arcane. Pay him money. No, I'm kidding. But like, we want that.
No, I have to pay you money.
Really
But like, if there's things that like you could buy in game, that's like, I don't know. You could like display on your profile like this is how many hours I've spent on this map or whatever. Something like that.
Related stuff could be very interesting.
That stuff we can potentially do without having to get Valve to accept and respond to our emails. That's probably okay. Buying game directly is something that we can't usually do. Right?
Yeah. It's the economy side of things.
But if we could be doing stuff so that mappers and cosmetic authors are getting some money, in general, we don't want Momentum to be like something that's kind of like excessively money driven, right?
Right.
That being said, that doesn't mean that we don't want mappers to be appreciated for their time, and especially people are just donating to mappers and stuff. That'd be great. But if we could make that kind of standardized in Momentum in some way, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I think with things like mapping and modeling and stuff, it's really easy to underappreciate how much work goes into it. The reason I sort of hesitated to say it is I think you can also say that about programming, and that's most of what we're doing. But
Yep.
yeah, there's still, especially when there's the creative aspect of mapping. And I think a lot of the reason that people like mapping stuff in particular is like, I like Deal's comment there. As an ex-incel, I would love to flick a butterfly whilst doing B-Hop Arcane. Oh, skin cell. Ex-incel.
I was trying to piece that together because I didn't know what term that would be.
I was just thinking like,
as a full
like
ex-incel myself, no.
it's like butterfly, as I like butterfly knife, like spy, like
Yeah.
spy main. Those people never have sex. Like, like TF2 spy mains, like
Woman
that's
repellent right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's valid. It's to have
Yeah.
some sort of kickback to people that create the things, but usually it would have to be off. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely talk with Valve about like it'd be cool if they took the 30% and then we give like the rest of the money to the asset creator.
Well, I mean,
or something.
The main thing for us, if there was a way that Momentum devs could be making some money from the project in some way, like that's not. I mean, we have our donation system, whatever. We're not completely against that. A big thing for us is not if we were to try to turn Momentum into a directly kind of profit-seeking entity where our goal for the game is to make money from the game, and it is our like the primary job of our developers. Then there's so much you take on there, and so many reasons why a lot of aspects of the game are likely to get worse. It's just there's something quite naive about that in that.
For sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that guy makes me like there's not many of the tech CEOs that make me like actually feel kind of physically sick, but Sam Altman is. God.
You don't want profit-seeking AI to take off the world.
And says like he kind of says, "Oh yeah, AI. No, I really think that in like in the next year, like they'll be running our lives." And he does this kind of, you can't quite tell if he really believes his bullshit or not.
Yeah.
And I don't know what of those two things would be sadder. I think he probably doesn't, and he does just want to make a lot of money. But yeah, fucking hate Sam Altman. Jesus Christ!
All the founders just left. Like, what's going on there? You're trying to develop the most powerful AI in the world.
No, I would do anything for those people to just be hit with legal stuff that means that they can't be training their models on shit that they shouldn't have been able to train them on, and they just have to get rid of them. That would be the most beautiful thing in the world. Anyway, but turning Momentum into something where our kind of primary goal is to make money, right? Then so much of what we're doing does just change in its very nature, and that maybe there's ways of making that work in a way that's kind of good, but there's so much precedent and examples of ways that does not work and has made stuff worse.
It also puts a bunch of like pressure on us to make sure we're delivering, because like
Not
a lot of people already think Momentum
none
is
of our livelihood.
For some reason.
Oh no, there was that one guy running a YouTube comment. Like,
good old YouTube comments.
They're gonna just take all the money and run or whatever. Yeah, the $9,000 on our open collective. I should say like that.
Yeah.
I've worked on Momentum for like 4 years now, and I actually bought something with Momentum money recently.
Some new
Instead of running out of RAM. But I was just gonna say, if anyone living in like the UK or Europe wants some RAM, give me a shout, because I actually have like 4 gig DDR4 RAM sticks I don't have any use for, and I'm not sure it is worth going to the effort of putting them on eBay. They're DDR4.
Yeah.
But there's the 2 Corsair Vengeance ones, and then these GeForce ones. If anyone wants one, give me a shout, and I'll give you them for like, I don't know, like £1 each or something, and you pay postage. Sorry, let's get back to the Q&A. We have like no questions this week, so
yeah, we're chilling. It's a really chill week this week. We have jank stuff we're showing off, which we got through. We got some awesome maps.
But that is a good example. Like I did spend some Momentum money on, just because I had 32 gigs of RAM before and was frequently just hitting swap a lot, and stuff was being annoyingly slow, and constantly like 100% RAM when I was doing like game dev and web dev stuff at the same time. So I actually spent like, I think it was 110 GDP on some quite decent like DDR4 RAM. It was 2 32 gig RAM sticks,
Nice.
which is like, you know, an amount of money or whatever. I thought about it quite a lot, and I'm glad I have done it because my computer's actually fast now and I can work better on the game. But you know, that's kind of our attitude. Like the money stuff is like right now is stuff is all donations, and I'm not gonna, you know, spend money on stuff that I don't think I've kind of earned, but also is going to help me. Right? I'm not. Does that make sense? If momentum has become this kind of profit making thing, and our kind of whole goal was to just make money, I guess the main thing is that there's so much of this. It's just community content that like
just feels gross
right,
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, when we talk about how we'd really like it to make it so mappers can actually be profiting from the maps of momentum in some way, in a kind of relatively kind of in a sort of non-extortionate, quite kind of relaxed, chill way or whatever, like that's great, and we want to be able to talk about that from a point of view of people that are passionate about this game and love the fact that so many community mappers have made stuff of remarkably high standard and trying to give the give the guys
Give back
opportunity
to
to
them.
make money.
Yeah.
Like that would be great. If we were like some kind of profit making thing, then that kind of the tone of that conversation becomes quite different. That's something we basically should be doing if we're not. Fucking hell. Like it would be really weird if we weren't trying to do that.
It's like the Roblox situation.
Yeah, I don't know enough about I was kind of thinking about that, but I don't know enough about it to but yeah, like it's so much changes if we were to become a sort of for-profit thing. So maybe there's a way to make stuff work. So some of us make kind of some money from this stuff. In the past, Nick's spoken about being willing to spend some of his money on server costs and stuff like that. And personally, I will go out of my way to make sure that he does not do that, because we should easily be bringing enough donations so that we can pay for server costs through donations. It's not reasonable.
We'll have things like on the main menu. We'll have like, hey, here's our server cost for the
exactly
month, and just a little donation bar and stuff for that. So.
And we're being fucking good with our DevOps stuff and the financing of it. That's
it's probably gonna be around $100 a month.
100 is like our starting point, but we might well end up with stuff costing more, and it's going to heavily depend on how many players we've got. Though we're also not doing some kind of crazy kind of cloud scaling thing, so there's also a sense in which we might. It's complicated. We could talk about this stuff for hours. Me and Nick could really have spoken about this stuff together for hours, and but right now our plan for Hetzner dedicated servers and stuff, and being like really quite pragmatic with stuff, and how as kind of both of us being software engineers, and like we can talk quite a lot about different hosting platforms, all these kind of different ways we could do stuff, and if we needed some super complex Kubernetes thing or whatever, like Nick has experience doing that in his work, right? Doing these kind of crazy elaborate things, and we're not doing that, and we're trying to keep stuff both affordable but also kind of sensible and like that, and it's
because I think like worst case scenario, the game explodes, right? Like there's like 100,000 players trying to play at the exact same time or something, which is like
but our approach
top 10 of Steam almost. So
if
that's
that
like
happens,
worst case, and like we would be able to very quickly spin up. Like we would be able to handle that. That's the matter, right? Like it's being able to handle scaling is one thing.
Scaling concerns there. Like it's something that's not easy for us.
Right.
If we were to start hitting levels like that, especially because we'd start having to do a lot of replica stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, we would be able to handle it. Like we would be able to. There's solutions
on a financial and hardware size. We could. I mean, we probably end up. Database stuff becomes complex, right? We don't need to talk about on the Q&A, but I don't know. We'd have to. Do we end up spending like 64 core Hetzler like dedicated server just for Postgres? Probably. Maybe that gets us through like actually like I don't know, maybe 10k concurrent, so that's fine if depends on Reddit stuff or whatever. Sorry, ignore me. Why am I bringing this up? But
we are very careful with how we spend the donation money that we have.
It's
so when it comes to profit making incentives, a lot of it should be focused on the community created content instead of necessarily the team. But we do want team donations as well to be like a way for people on the team to be able to get upgrades that they need, or in some cases entirely new computers, right? Like it's there were some people working on like laptops and stuff, and that's just not gonna work long term. So, but we have a good like war chest for being able to do our deploy. O10 is going to be a very nice way to see how the game goes because it's not done, so it won't explode because there's there's going to be people that are like, oh my god, like where is everything, and then they'll stop playing until we get all of the maps or something. But we'll have metrics in place. We'll be seeing a lot of just like hard queries. We'll be very, very efficient with how we do our launches to where we can safely project our costs onto the community, and that could just be the only thing that we're like, hey, like we do need this money for this, and we could use our war chest for that. But we did start the donations as a kind of team specific thing, and it'd be nice to have some money in the bank for that if one of our devs is like motherboard fries or something, right? Like being able to help out, help cover that cost, right? So like we'll see how it goes, but yeah, when it comes to full circle to the is there going to be in-game purchases for anything? No, because we can't directly make money off of anything in the game. So like you can donate, you can buy like merch and stuff. We'll have merch, and that'll be where you can really rep momentum and stuff. But all the skins and stuff in game, we'll try to set it up to where you could try to donate for it. But realistically, yeah, it's all free. It's all passion and community based, and hopefully open enough so that there's not and documented enough so that there's not enough hurdles to prevent people from either making maps or making cosmetics for the game. Because it's important to have that, right? Like we can't just have just momentum stuff. We want to be able to represent the different communities from all over the world, right? And have that in the game for everybody to enjoy.
There's also another thing is like a lot of documentation for mapping stuff has been done by other people. Like someone was posting in the like surf mapping channel recently about like guidelines for surf stuff. I'm really impressed by like this Google Drive full of different stuff or whatever, and it's like there's so much like kind of existing community work that goes into this stuff. It's like I don't know how we're supposed to kind of financially distribute stuff well in like a way that kind of otherwise I'm wary of all the kind of financial side of it because there's just so many different people that do different work that's so kind of respectable and important that it's like hard to see how you really kind of break up the money side of it. Money just makes everything so much more complicated.
Yeah. We can change maps too. Did somebody redeem Please Actually Play Conk, or did I see just the 400 one?
Just a boring one.
I don't think I've ever tried speedrunning Arcane. I just play it like sporadically.
Yeah. There it is.
And I basically have not played B-Hop in like years. I just played Defrag.
Yeah. A Conk in Mirror World. We could do that. What's a good...
It's a good Mirror World Conk map. I usually play speed, so let's not do that. I
know we always play speed, yeah.
I'm terrible at Conk.
Basic.
Should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
All right, so Lody is asking, should there be a mapping jam to kick off 010 for the map submission release? I'm a bit unsure of that, just because like our release schedules are so sporadic, and like you need to organize that kind of. So I don't want like a map jam to happen and then like 2 weeks later we still don't have 010 like fully out.
Or
something
yeah,
like that.
I think it'd be something we could start doing if we reach a point. Say, our goal right now is to get stuff in a decently playable, kind of stable spot by the end of November. No guarantee we meet that deadline. Like we've been saying, we're not getting paid for this shit, and it's complicated.
Yeah,
but we need like a map for the jam.
Yeah, well, it's just so much less sexy. Make it like poorly listing stuff.
But that's what we need.
Yeah.
Make new maps when 010 is almost ready.
No, but new maps, we got this new stuff people could be using as well. Like I think new maps would be. I love the idea of doing this. I think this is a great idea. Just as Nick says, like we're so it's so hard for us to be confident in specific like release like schedules and stuff. But if we were at the point where, you know, we're actually feeling like we're gonna get O10 out by like late December or whatever, or that like say we don't get the O10 out quite by the end of the year. Well, I guess we'll have to spend like weeks fighting off people yelling at us. But like,
Yeah.
you know, if we're confident like 2 weeks out that like, okay, the O10 is gonna be out in the next month, then we could maybe start doing something like that. And especially like if that was a way to like encourage people to do docs for like momentum specific stuff, and we wanted people making maps for momentum specific stuff, then you know, there's maybe some.
Yeah. And I guess it could also even just be something that gets scheduled kind of after the actual like release.
Yeah.
But that might, I don't know, it might get less publicity if it's afterwards, but
Yeah. So Lody's just following up in chat, and I thought it would be cool if whenever a 10 drops, there are a bunch of maps that were dropped with it, or like brand new maps. I guess so. I feel to some extent having Momentum actually have like a lot of new features that we just haven't had before. Like it's not that that's like we should be thinking in terms of there being like ample stuff. Like this sounds like a really cool idea, but it does sound a bit more practical to do stuff where we did a jam like soon after, or well, I don't know. It's just you do worry about having people.
I guess another thing about jams is like if we're doing a time constraint, then you can kind of end up with unfinished maps getting added, and then it might not. I don't know. It would have to be organized in like a specific way that enables people to continue development even after the jam would end.
Yeah, well, sorry, Winterey just says we should really get like a chat showing thing, by the way, in our OBS. But Winterey says it feels like you need a whole new UI for displaying specific jam maps. We've been considering doing stuff like that, as integrating other stuff as a part of the playlist system, maybe, as well as I guess the playlist system was the kind of main way of doing that. Like that's something we would quite like to do anyway. That's certainly not something we're gonna have for a 10 though.
Yeah,
you know, we can always put in like map descriptions and stuff saying that like made for this jam or whatever, but I don't know. I do think like if anything that we did that made it so we got a lot more maps in different modes with like momentum specific features, like that's in itself quite a big deal. So having a jam that even if we can't display stuff as like really prominently as being part of this specific jam or whatever, like you know, for surf for instance, like just having surf maps that are clearly made using the new grid limits and like brush limits and stuff, like that's
new shaders. If we get clustered in,
probably getting clustered in by then.
I can't wait to get back to mapping.
Yeah.
Like all my time spent working on this game is just so I can get back to the mapping.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like Hop says, yeah, there will be a lot of maps, just new stuff added with O10.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I do really like the idea of encouraging more momentum specific maps, because we really do have quite a lot of stuff for people to work with. And I think especially for like surf mappers and stuff, people, or you know, anyone making maps for existing games, like doing momentum specific stuff is a really big ask, because like why, if momentum's not the main game that people are playing the stuff in, and momentum doesn't have like a specific like release date that people are going to be confident that, oh, the game's going to be up by now, I can do a map, and by the time my map's done, momentum's going to be released fully or whatever. Like it's very natural that people don't want to commit to doing momentum only stuff, right? That being said, there's some really cool things you can do that are momentum only, like the grid limit increases and custom shaders and stuff. And
I would love to have like map jams for like tournaments, kind of like Defrag World Cup, where you just have like a bunch of new maps that people compete on.
Yeah, and it's.
I guess the other thing would be the like the whole map submission process. We'd have to do that with like a whole bunch of maps, depending on the turnout, like all at once. If it was all in like an organized jam.
We can do fast reviews and stuff. We'll have to get into like our groove with map submission and trying to find like ways to make map submission not tedious to do stuff like that. But I mean, it's our system. We can make that stuff work.
Yeah, I think it's doable. It just needs it would need a lot of like overhead planning outside of just the development.
Yeah. And definitely from a like Lody says, I'm just like saying everything that people are saying because people are talking in chat, but the chat doesn't show up in like the YouTube or whatever. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
I guess anyone can organize a match chat, says Lody B, which is definitely something we want more of in the future. I feel like something like this, it would be really cool to do it as a kind of semi-official thing, but
Why is there a
we
lift
really
there?
don't want to be, you know, taking up time from like main development stuff from like organizing a map jam or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably get like community members that could help with organization so that we don't have to officially be spending a lot of time on it.
So,
But
I think we're like almost ready to start taking submissions for O10.
Yeah,
I know Tom's working on some stuff for the map selector.
We want to start documenting stuff more.
Yeah, we need guides for it first, I think.
And it's also, hopefully we don't have to do any more like major DB like structural changes before O10. But I'd like, at least for now, like the next month or so, to make it so we're not super concerned with keeping any data of like maps added before O10. Like, we'll reach just because it saves us time doing migrations, right? And
right.
You know, not that we can't do that; it just takes time.
The zone format is pretty solid, which is what matters really when people are porting their maps, and also just like the lumper stuff. So like, if the database changes and you have to wipe everything, that's not a huge deal. People can just re-upload their map pretty easily.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I've been doing lately, is making it so the map submission stuff is a bit more flexible with different rules and stuff, primarily such as like admins and moderators can like bypass certain constraints we put on stuff, like public testing, minimum time, stuff like that. But
dang, I don't know the timing for this jump. For a lot of the cards that I was going through, we have a lot of like entity related stuff too, which is currently scheduled for O10X, like O10.
Well, a lot
like
of it's done. I think we had quite a lot of.
No, we have a lot of cards
more
that are
to do.
Yeah.
No, I know there's some of those, but yeah.
The entity changes that are required for porting maps have been mostly finished.
Yeah.
Right. That's the main thing, is a lot of the stuff we currently have are kind of annoying little things that are not super important, I think, or not blocking at least.
Yeah.
Also, some of those, I worry that some of those are actually sort of superseded by some of the newer issues we did. So I think we should all look over them together, especially Rio and Panzer, if you guys haven't looked at the stuff Nick added into the board.
Not really. I've only been looking at the other stuff. I'm not trying to focus on the rest of the releases.
Yeah. But entity stuff is actually, I think that the main stuff we really want is in a pretty good spot actually. But
yeah, things like Funk Bounce, that was something I was working on, but that's not really important for O10. It's just a fun new entity that people can mess around with.
Yeah.
And in case it's not obvious, that entity will make it so, like, when you hit it, when you land on it, it will reflect your velocity.
Bounce, trampoline.
Yep. Yeah, and there's like some modifiers that can like double your speed when you hit it, so you can do some interesting mechanics with it. Be excited to see what kind of maps people come up with some of the new entities.
Yeah. And we're also fixing entity behavior too, like the tick-based outputs are now more accurate in 0935, which
I was just looking at that. Those changes are so weird.
Yeah, I love it when I like have to like read like a research paper by Rio.
Yeah. Like you have to go through the whole history of like the way output.
Yeah. No, Rio's been really good at describing the stuff, but it's also like, oh my god, some of the deep dives he has to do to figure that stuff out is redonkulous.
Yeah, this is Kong for those. Okay, all right, we're good. This is Kong for those unfamiliar. This is a Team Fortress Classic based mode, TF2's daddy. And the way that it works is you have a conch grenade, and the closer you are to it, the less it boosts you. So as you see here, it has up to a radius. So like right here, it'll really boost me. So yeah, and it's a fixed timer when you prime it, so it's just a matter of getting good with timing. So right here, like this is going to be a climb, so I'm going to actually do a double here. And just stand on this one, it'll boost me up, that one will go up, and then this one, yeah, oh, that was technically a triple, I guess. And then, yeah, I didn't go high enough. I guess I gotta jump, but yeah, it's very hard. This map is definitely not easy. Oh, it's so close. Okay, so I do need a third one, so let me...
I'm just gonna walk through because I can't do this.
This isn't quite related to Q&A, but I just want to say that, like, fucking SL, who we don't talk about, doesn't come to these Q&As or whatever, that we don't talk about that much. We had this bug that, like, delayed with our launching of the last update we just did that we had to roll back. And it's the weirdest bug that I'm so confused by, I don't even understand, and SL's already figured it out.
What is it?
But it's
oh, you might not be able to...
rename, it's a xinput.lib thing, so that LDD link will not find it. But it's like related to some...
That's insane. I would have never guessed an xinput.
Like, I'm so confused. But it's I do think like so much of doing game dev work like this, some of the stuff you have to do is so complicated and so baffling, and we are so lucky to have like people at the level that we do. That this was found this quick. Like, Jesus Christ. This is baffling.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No.
But yeah, shout out to nerds on the project.
Nerds, yeah. Yeah, we got some awesome people working on Momentum and Strata. It's awesome just every day seeing like the new pull requests and stuff coming in.
But it's just such specialized stuff that you just can only just feel like incredibly lucky to be involved with those people, that those people are spending the time on this stuff, because it's just ridiculously complicated and hard to... 90% of developers quit just before finding that one stupid hard render bug. The thing with this is like a CI, like, what the fuck? I don't even know what xinput is, but like, so...
xinput's for input system, which is funny, we don't use it because we don't support controllers, but...
Yeah.
Plus so also there's Steam input, so...
But for instance, you know, people that aren't involved with programming don't necessarily think about CI or know anything about CI at all, which stands for continuous integration, which is a way to make building the game consistent. And so we have servers or, you know, machines that most of the machines that we own are just living in people's basements and shit.
Yep.
Because it's so expensive. Because you need, yeah. Because doing the hosting for it is really expensive. If we had this on a dedicated server, it would cost like, I don't know, $50 a month, something like that. Like, it needs a lot of compute. We actually had a question about that I guess we'll get to. But I'm wondering if we should just skip to that question now, because I'm about to answer it just by coincidence, because we're talking about whatever. Where was it? Someone asked in Q&A live. We don't have it on the slides anyway. This is going to make getting the slide stuff on the YouTube milestones completely impossible. But Squirrel asked, how long does it take to do a full compile of the game?
Great question.
Yeah, and so for me, on like i9 990K like CPU, which is like a 8 CPU split, whatchamacallit, like double thingy thing, there's like 16 cores. For me, I can do it now in about 20 minutes, but we have some stuff disabled now. So I seem to be building Hammer like 3 different times every time I do it, but yeah, for me it's about 20 minutes. For our CI, I think it's about the same, right? How long is Momentum CI for like a game release?
20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's usually Windows. And we're on a 4-core, 8-thread, like, little fucking box that's in my parents' basement.
And is that actually... Okay, wow.
Yeah, so 20 minutes for 4 cores, yeah, it's
not
terrible.
bad.
But, like, on, like, a dev machine like mine with, like, 16 threads, right, or 16 cores or whatever, it's, like,
how long
8
is it
minutes.
For you? Okay, maybe mine is...
Minutes,
mine isn't that bad. I should... maybe I don't need to be. Maybe I've just got my CMake stuff screwed up.
But still, it's 9 minutes from complete scratch. Which a lot of
Yeah.
the times it's when you change branch, you're pulling down like new changes that
Yeah.
change like are deeper in the engine, so it rebuilds everything.
Yeah, and yeah, every tier 0 change is like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah, if I'm doing some like game change in like client code or whatever, that's basically instant, right? Because it's only compiling a couple of files or whatever. For me with development stuff, I've never been a Visual Studio fan. I use C-Line for C++ stuff. I'm a JetBrains nerd, and the workflow for Strata stuff now is very, very nice. I mean, we can talk about this, right? Like we no longer use VPC, we use CMake.
Yeah, we use CMake. Yeah, we moved off of Valve's
which-
weird project creator code,
yeah.
which the SDK 2013 uses, and
and
it
there's a
sucks.
lot of like CMake is a bit complicated at first, but like, and I don't know how you guys like figured out everything, but
it's all documented. It's not too
very
bad.
powerful. Yeah, no, it's really not bad, and I find I've been working on another project for a bit this last month that does it's still VPC and stuff, and I'm having to use Visual Studio, and it's very annoying. The workflow now is pretty great for debugging and for.
Yeah, sorry. I set myself as the author for this map. I don't know why.
Oh yeah.
Usually we use Momentum Man, which is just some placeholder.
Yeah. The new placeholder systems are way better. It's so much nicer to use.
I made this.
But yeah, that's one of the. But CI is this. So CI is in when we're doing a game release, it's running on one of these servers, right? And it does a build on Windows and Linux, and also when we're doing merge requests and stuff, we're running CI just to check the stuff builds and running some tests. On both Windows and Linux, and all this kind of background stuff that we maybe kind of overdo it, but it's something that once you have that infrastructure there is incredibly helpful for development. And yeah, I'm always just in awe of the people that can do this kind of stuff, which is not maybe CI is kind of a specific programming skill, but just finding random stuff like SOCAN or whatever, like just having these kind of I don't know, sort of general expertise when it comes to C++ compilation and linking and
there's a lot more we could do to optimize it. We're compiling way more than we should. A lot more things should be pre-compiled, like libraries and stuff. We bring a lot of like dependencies in tree and build it as part of the full build, instead of just making because the main problem that C++ has that JavaScript or whatever gets shit on a ton is we don't have package management. There's no you just either
there
build
are
it.
package managers, but we
don't.
Were we talking
which
about
one do we
Conan at one
use?
point?
Conan, BC package. There's a bunch of different ones, but there's not like a standard, right? And like with what we need to do with some of our libraries, we actually need to modify them. So it's like for Jolt, for example, we have our whole shim on top of it that works with our new V-physics. So
the stuff that SL had to do for V8 recently was
V8
brutal.
for Panorama.
V8 was so hard because Google has all their like custom standard library shit that you need for V8, and it's oh my god, that seemed so gross. And why don't we just use Node for the game engine?
I've thought about it. You should rewrite it in Rust and then never use it again.
Yeah, and then not be able to like afford any infra that can compile our stuff in a reasonable amount of time.
Compile time. But no, for sure, it's something that we've improved because it used to be terrible. CI, right? Constant running CI makes it so that it's something that's always on our mind because if we're waiting for releases to come out, especially if we have a game breaking bug or something. That's why I was prioritizing kill switch development for the web server so we can shut things off and then get a new build out or something.
Yeah.
But how do I do this? How do I?
Our CI for web is so much simpler comparatively to game stuff. So game CI has been. I'm just so impressed by all the stuff there. It's so complicated. All the shader compilation stuff, random steps we have to do for localization, and
Damn, I didn't
Or just
have-
like release setup stuff. We have some really cool little scripts for generating release builds and stuff, and change logs things now that we spent a bunch of time on. But yeah.
Okay, that might be kind of what I do. I just have to get the right angle for this and timing.
Anyway, we should probably move on because we're talking about literally the most boring
Yes.
thing in the world.
Yeah, cool. All right, next question. I think it's our last asked one on Q&A Live when I made these, so we'll...
Yeah. Daylight is asking, will there be a task utility?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
down
know
the
when.
road, but yes, we do want to have task tools in the game. We also want to have segmented runs that you can do as well. So you don't necessarily need to do things frame or tick perfect. You would just be able to make a save state and stitch together a run, and that's how we'll do things like showcase runs for mappers. So each mapper can just kind of do a replay for each of those. I don't know if the rewrite of the replay system has that in mind, but I think it could work with it. But yeah, so we do have plans around that because it's pretty important. Pretty important being able to create a perfect run and see that. It'd be really cool to have task leaderboards. Oh,
Yeah.
so close. That's almost it.
Tasmanian Devil.
A little bit earlier.
I am going to nip to the toilet. Someone else can do the next question. I've not been doing the
Okay.
questions anyway. What am I saying?
All right, cool. So that is all of the asked ones here, but did we go through the ones in Q&A Live? Yeah, we did that one. Will custom models be... yeah, we could do the custom models one. And then... the fucking compression that happened on Arcane, that's great. Got double ping, let's go. Okay, cool. So yeah, so for wait, I think we answered that one. Can you add custom models in the game? Yes, locally you can. You can always do things locally. We'll never take that away from you.
I think they're asking for custom modes.
Oh shit, am I dyslexic? Hold on, sorry.
I don't know what that means exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 100 tick surf, like we're probably gonna implement to the game.
Yeah.
But like low gravity, I don't know, like spin-off modes. I don't know. That would just probably be something you do with SV cheats.
Yeah, I mean, we really like the main point of Momentum isn't to be a sandbox. It's to be kind of a professional like speedrunning platform. So we can't just add like new modes left and right. We need to like vet them and make sure it makes sense and have a unique kind of experience with. There can be sub modes, so there can be like, you know, Rocket Jump will have like quad and beggars and stuff like as sub modes because it's Rocket Jump, but it's with a slight gameplay twist. Surf will have, you know, 100 tick to make it. I'm a little worried about adding 100 tick because we should just like, I have a feeling it'll become the new default. Like if people are like, this is just surf but easier.
I think it's worse.
Yeah,
I'm not sure we ever do.
I'm so used to 66 that like I feel like I'd be the same way, but like a new player might not know what it means, so
Exactly.
we'll see. But man, how do
I've been playing Elden Ring lately, and I've been really struggling to not use the summons. You know, because you get through a bit, and you're like, oh wow, this is actually really hard. Also, this boss is kind of bullshit. Like, you know, I don't want to do both Godskin Nobles at once or whatever. And then I use the summons, and I feel like if we do 100 tick surf, people might just do that. They'll be like, oh, I can't really be bothered to like get good at this map, but at least I could just play it in 100 tick instead.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like playing with low gravity or something. It makes it slightly easier. It doesn't really anything too interesting.
Yeah. Like it feels like a tick rate change like that makes sense for like if we change the default of surf to be 100 tick to join the bunny. Oh no, that was almost it. I bonked my head.
Oh yeah.
But
I just think it's hard. Also, how does like tiering work? You know, like
yeah.
Do we change the tiers because everything's easier, or is like it's just
The way it's currently done is just everything's tiered the same. It's just like slightly easier on 100 tick.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is kind of the argument that 100 tick, like the way that those communities have been moderated, they're kind of more open to like doing crazy skips that like break the map. And that's I think that's one interesting thing that comes out of it. Like, there's a lot of skips on surf maps that are only doable on 100 tick.
This has been one of the things recently we've been talking about, is like with the B-hop stuff and how much surf should be about respecting mapper's intentions versus just skips and allowing whatever you can do.
Well,
Yeah.
the problem I have with the current B-hop is a lot of maps were not made for those settings, so you can skip a lot of the maps.
Yeah.
Because you're jumping higher and going much faster.
Also dumb. I don't know. I feel like surf kind of deserves to just be 66 tick in a way. Like, just having that, you know, it's not a mode that needs. It's just weird adding that kind of extra variation, you know. That like,
Yeah.
surf is kind of such a kind of pure mode in a way that doesn't. Besides the tick rate stuff, and I guess things like, you know, where you allow b-hopping, yeah. Could you make it a map setting, says Kiki the cat? No, tick rate is, for one, we could kind of make it a property of zones if we'd have to load zones before map stuff, actually. That would be really annoying to do in, like, the host code, but yeah. We wouldn't want to do that anyway. Like, it's not, we don't want... Generally, we don't want maps changing base physics at all. Like, we're not going to let a map set like Air Excel. The one thing maps can do is max velocity and surf, but those are now property of zones. We don't want people doing that in an entity of momentum. If someone does an entity,
there's a fire truck coming by. 1 sec.
I thought you were going to say a fire. Your neighborhood is
right next to a firehouse. So yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Very fun, and live in a state where there's just fire everywhere. No, just kidding. California is not
just in fire.
Yeah, you've got a couple decades until. Yeah, there's like a fire station on every street, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one big physics thing is max velocity, and that's now a zone thing. If you do it we don't want you doing it with like entities. For maps that do that, we'll use Lumper and just get rid of the entity thing that sets it, and we'll just do it in the zone file, and that's something we explicitly allow, like in this like big fancy well-typed zone format we have now. Like those, we have an explicit thing for max file. I think it's for every mode. It's just most common in surf, that way, it's a lot easier to display in the game UI, which is where we should display that. But yeah. With something like B-hop is like, there's more variants of B-hop than there are surf, right? And so, HL1 B-hop, I think, can't wait to have. I mean, we have it in O10 branch, and it's great to have. That's way... Surf is, you know, maps are made for 66. And surf maps are kind of less... With B-hop, like, a B-hop map made for scroll hop, you can still play in auto hop, and it's generally fun, right? Like, you're playing Arcane before in auto hop, and it's made for scroll. Whilst with surf, like, the tick rates a surf map's made for is a really, really big deal.
Are we going to add B-hop inside the sun? It's a classic.
Is that what it is? Yeah. If it's got different areas, though, then probably not. But... Did I miss learn? Did we do Ayaro's question? I think we did, right?
I think so.
What was the learn one?
Which question?
I think it was edited down a lot.
No, I think it was asked. It was asked after the stream started, so we didn't add it to the slides.
Should we move on to that, because we're kind of
let's do
it. Which was I think that was actually the next one. Actually, okay. So, someone else want to read? Actually, XB, do you want to go for it?
Sure. So about the learn section, wouldn't it be beneficiary if it would be in the style of Wikipedia, where every user can submit changes to the pages, and admins or certified people can alter it. Since when anybody is learning any given style, the best tips come from dedicated players rather than the game tutorials. And also, are there any concrete plans for it?
Yeah, we weren't sure what you
That's a
meant
long
by
sentence.
that second one. There are concrete plans for a learn section, if that's what you
To
meant.
learn
Um,
a kind of community change. For one, just on a technical point of view, like trying to do like community, like a Wikipedia style thing for maps doesn't really work, right? Because they are BSP files and not editable in that way. But more generally,
Is the website going to have like a comment section?
for maps, I forget. We were just talking about. I think I had a phase recently where I was keen on doing map comments, and then someone talked me out of it. But maybe they didn't, and actually, I still think we should do them. I can't remember.
That might be good for like tips and hints. I don't know.
So like,
I quite like doing map comments still, but I think what we got to.
I think what they might be thinking of when they're talking about Wikipedia is like how in the current Learn implementation you have the different kind of sections, and they all have like their own title and description. And so I don't know if they want people to be able to make changes to
text. Yeah.
If you want people to be able to make changes to that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just a spreadsheet right now, right? So people can just like
kind of, yeah, but we're not gonna emphasize that.
Yeah, so people can like if they want to rewrite something, they can give it in the feedback channel. But it is kind of handled privately.
Yeah.
But like most of the learning we're hoping is not going to be coming from like a bunch of reading as much as it is going to be experiencing the actual BSP, and that like collaborating on that is already hard with just like team members. Trying to set up infrastructure to like submit map changes like from random community members would be very difficult. So I think like if there's people that want to work on the learn section and submit changes, it might be good to apply to the team. Just so that there can be kind of more of an organized effort towards it rather than just like a community submission system.
I didn't let go. I just fucking Half-Life 2 second grinded this shit, dude.
Can I just point out like how good this particle effect is? Like when that content on that like white line there, and you get this like weird kind of
it like bends. It's
how good does that look?
Reminds me of Outer Wilds like black hole rendering. So cool.
Source's particle stuff is really solid. It's just nobody knows how to use it. Yeah, Vortex is this, and this is oh my god, it's so good. Vortex is hopefully doing some zoning visual stuff soon that I'm very excited for. I'm at the moment it's maybe slightly tangential, but with docs, we're currently looking at making our docs site more like a wiki. We've not had much time to work on it the last couple of weeks, but me and Nick have been really keen on this, which is using what's it called, that like weird thing, like the
headless CMS.
Headless CMS, yeah. And then there's like some specific thing that there's forks of it now, and it's complicated. Because Git-based wikis are shit. Lumia basically, I spent a while because we ported about a year ago. I put our doc site from one static sidechain to another, from Jekyll to Hugo, and was quite committed to Hugo. And then Lumia basically sat me down and said, "Hey Tom, don't you think this is shit? Like Git-based wiki editing?" And then I was like, "Oh yeah, no, you're completely right." Like he made the argument like completely soundly. Like it's horrible trying to edit like text stuff, and you're having to do it in like Markdown with like a custom. You have to like locally run like a thing to like deploy a local dev build of the doc site, and then do Git commits and stuff. I use Git every day. I'm really good at Git, but I still don't want to do fucking pull requests for docs. And it's annoying. So we'd like to keep using Hugo if we can, and not do something super elaborate, and not use MediaWiki or Wiki.js because they're both a little bit shit in very different ways. So a headless CMS thing is quite appealing to us. Sorry, so that's kind of separate from this, but that's how we would like to start doing some of our we'd like to make editing our docs a lot more accessible, especially with O10 coming out and all the map submission changes and stuff going on, and the need to do a lot of guidelines for map porting stuff, map submission stuff, and what was the other thing I was thinking of? I don't remember. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a good amount of things that are like able to be edited by the community. Oh, that was so close.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, for something like Learn, yeah, the main source of the content I think still is like Google Sheet. I doubt we'll keep using that. I've heard some people say that you should never use a Google Sheet for like programmatic stuff or like spreadsheets because then people keep using them for other stuff. But I don't think we're really in danger of that. I quite like using the Google Sheet for this thing, even though we had to do incredibly ugly panorama hacks. If you look at our panorama sort of stuff, it's quite funny.
Yeah, isn't it like sending console commands like just to
Oh,
load
that's
the
how
map
Learn
or
works
whatever?
right now. The thing I was talking about is how it loads it from the Google Sheet, which
Yeah.
it does using async web request, which I think we're going to get rid of, or maybe we have and it doesn't work anymore. I don't remember. We don't really like Pano like stuff being able to make HTTP requests. But then for the thing is, it then passes a Google Sheet. It downloads it as CSV and then uses a library called Papaparts to transform it into JSON. And the library itself, I literally copy pasted into the single JavaScript file. So we don't have to do any like dependency stuff. So it's literally like just a single line of minifiers JS. It's like 4,000 characters long or whatever. 4,000 characters surely too short for that, but it's yeah. Anyway, it's incredibly jank. But it means we can do Google Sheets. This is us doing fast iteration game dev stuff, right? Like, it's just, we want to be able to change stuff, do it in a Google Sheet, and then add some crazy JavaScript that does it. Yeah, Nick, shall we change my app?
No, I'm going to get this jump at least once, and then we can do it.
For shit.
But then, sorry, Ayaro, are you still here? Because he was in the chat. Did you mean editing maps themselves, or just the text for like how to do a thing? Because maps themselves is kind of just logistically impossible, I think. But also, we're right now thinking a lot about how to improve Learn, and XB spoke about it a bit in his like introductory section, right? Like how. Yeah, I feel like it must be the kind of textual side of it. And I think we could improve that, but I'm not sure that should be directly editable. For one, because it's, and in fact, this is maybe the absolute best reason, is that this stuff's going to be localized. And so random people changing it, like whole paragraphs worth of text. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no, give us an update on what your idea is, Ayaro. We've got like
we've got
like an hour left, pretty much, and we've got about 80 questions. But for any even text-based stuff, the main thing to keep in mind is localization. Like, and localizing Learn is like a bigger job than like everything else we've done localization-wise combined. So when we start adding textual stuff for Learn, we'll make really quite a lot of effort to make stuff, the English text, be relatively finalized. So Learn section, Kiki, is a not custom maps. It's a kind of dedicated maps made by Momentum team members or potentially other Learn people if we do have a sub-Learn team in the future. Yeah, should we just show off Learn a bit, or are you worried about losing your run? Okay, fine. Next, we'll show it off after Nick beats this thing.
Yeah, I need to do this jump because I found the swag strat and I just want to do it once.
Also, I'm really enjoying just looking at the particle effect of this still because it's quite enthralling. So Ayaro, sorry, just Ayaro saying, and to come up with next Q&A. By the way, we're going to add a little chat with something somewhere.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I'll get a little OBS plugin.
So what Ayaro said was, so wanted to rethink the points that, like, their kind of comment based on what we were just saying, and come up with something, because I'm going to be honest, defrag section seemed to me not very helpful. Yeah, the main thing that I've been bringing up, and this is Learn and pedagogy is just an inherently very complicated thing, and there's so much to be said about it, and it's hard, and also talking for Lumia recently, who is involved with like Jump Academy stuff, and how like much they kind of apparently struggle with kind of like internal discussion of how
Let's
to even
go.
teach stuff. There we go.
Okay.
Nice.
Now let's show offline
Okay.
stuff.
You beat them
Does it
up.
just work?
But the thing that I'm really passionate about is learn more about kind of repeated stuff and being able to just do. Do we have our? I think I do have it.
Oh, I have Seal Mirror World on still. Whoops.
I don't
It's like,
think
why
would
is it coming
affect
down my
that
left
much.
side? All right, there we go.
Oh, I see. Oh, sorry. I will for that. Yeah. I'll put it. I have an interesting map that we could show off a bit. There's kind of a dev thing, but I think we could show it off.
Oh,
That I'll put in Discord, which was a thing Ninja was working on a while ago. Ninja's no longer on the team, but this is still something we're very interested in. So I'll put this in voice team, Nick, if you want to try this afterwards. Show
Okay.
this off a bit.
and it would be nice to have mode-specific binds because I can't even play sticky jump.
Well, you can with like exacts, which is what I do.
Oh yeah, I
There's
should
a
do
UI
that.
for it. We still need to do because. Oh my god, we need to do that.
Yeah, I have left click bound to jump for defrag.
Oh, shit. Shot too early. Let's see,
Someday
does
I
it
need to
triple
start
me?
like.
Yep.
If it does, it's not the intention, I think. Or maybe it is. Sorry, what's the section? What is the learn?
This is vertical sticky jump.
Okay, so this is in basics, but
Yeah, for sticky jump.
So you know the thing for learn that we've been talking about more lately has been giving people places to just mess around with stuff and kind of get to grips with things and kind of handhold them and give them opportunities to learn stuff without it being directly kind of completion focused. And I think with also right now, like a lot of this is like quite high level stuff. I mean, this seems like a very reasonable like thing. This is actually really helpful teaching strafe stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
But trying to make something that's a bit more than just like a bunch of stages that you beat, right? And a bit more about trying to experiment and kind of. I think where I've been thinking about this most has been with surf and b-hop and air strafing, because I think that's something that is just really, really unintuitive to a lot of people. And just giving them a bunch of techniques to practice isn't the point. The point is to get them used to literally just how to like interact with a surf wrap, and that's something that's not. Once you get used to it, is like the most natural thing in the world, but until you've done that, is like a nightmare. I think you're just meant to pogo this, Nick, not just do whatever you're doing.
From
Pogo
a
it.
ledge, though.
Oh, sorry, it is. Oh, okay, it is single
Yeah.
stick. Oh, they want you to.
Yeah, you kind of like get more distance.
I don't think you're supposed to pogo the bottom bit, are you? Or
No, I
okay.
don't think so. I think
This is actually
our
like a
physical explosives might
useful.
not.
Not sure it's that. I think it's just bad.
Yeah, it could be that too.
I think this is actually somewhat useful in comp. No. Okay, so it's right.
Almost.
But this kind of some of our learned stuff right now is focused on these kind of like quite advanced strategies, and I think that's okay to have. But the thing that is most important is, in my opinion, and Lumia and other people that we're talking about, Nick, you're cheating, would be having something. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm a little sneaky.
He's learning how to play sticky
You're
jump.
not learning.
I'm learning.
Oh, no, if you're doing a single sticky, you're learning. Otherwise, you're.
Oh,
cheating.
am I not supposed to? Oh,
It's the
okay,
single
well that's
sticky.
easier, but I don't think I'm supposed to be able to shoot two there.
Oh, you just did that. Yeah, great
yeah.
stuff.
Yep. I feel like I could make it there. I don't know. It's a low ceiling. It's hard. Whatever. But yeah, you get the point.
Yeah.
There's just all these, and their idea is that we would be like the old idea was that when you complete them, it would show like green, and you would show progress
Yeah.
through
we
all
might
these
still
harder
do
and
something
harder
like that.
things. Yeah, I'd still like to.
The
Wait,
thing
what's
that's
this?
hard is
Oh, I
getting
was
people to
doing
grip
this.
with basic mechanics, such that they can then just play maps and enjoy the game. Momentum has a really initially like high, like skill fjord, like little kind of nasty kind of wall you have to get over, like especially with surf and
Yeah.
beat, like anything straight babe, just to get used to the kind of core of it.
Mhm.
It's just really rough. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
So sorry, ayaro is responded to saying independent team for learn section, but public VMF to newest learn maps and each edit, which should be easily comparable to the latest, which makes it complicated for everyone. The issue is diffing VMFs is horrible, and it's kind of not really informative in any way. But the like my kind of maybe naive belief is that like if we do sit down and think about the kind of philosophy of it, or the kind of just sort of pedagogical kind of core of what we're trying to do, especially with those like strafe place modes, is well, again, Nick, can we show the map I just linked? Can you download it and try it just to?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Is that
Let's
right?
invoice
Just
him.
because
Yeah, let me get that.
yeah. So this is a really work in progress thing from like a year ago that Ninja did. Ninja's no longer on the team, unfortunately, but like this was some kind of R&D stuff. I think it's fair to show. I think it's fine to show. In fact, this is
load. Is it good? All right.
Yeah. B-hop momentum training R2. And I
It's like
mentioned
already
earlier,
have that map.
Hmm?
Said I already have that map apparently.
Oh. We're in the lobby, right? Yeah. Hello? Oh, there you are. Okay. So I think this is basically what we already have in this stage is what we already have in the B-hop learn section. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is something, but like, I don't think I'm not a huge fan of. What I am a huge fan of is come over here to the left.
What's wrong with this?
Over here. This.
Oh, the infinite thing.
Yeah. This
Well-
I like because it's just a way to like just basically just sliding around is a good way to like get more used to strafing.
Yeah.
This is a really good opportunity to just learn through
Well-
doing. And we can write descriptions of sort of what to do. Hold A whilst turning left and hold D whilst turning right and whatever and this kind of thing. And especially with the new strafe sync stuff that I don't know if we even had at the start of this. In fact, the strafe sync thing, which you don't have on, Nick, but the strafe sync on the HUD is like really helpful for getting better at this. Like I really like this kind of repetition stuff. And I think the idea was this looks slightly like some kind of like oh, I shouldn't say. But like repeated stuff that like give you the opportunity to just get the muscle memory down, right? Winterey would a totally new player be interested in just strafing around an infinite map? That's a really good point, right? That's something we're really concerned about. Is we don't want to make it boring in that regard. Like we want to give people, we don't want to make it a focused on completion because that can make stuff quite reductive and mean so you just kind of feel like even if you do stuff in a kind of cheesy whale, and it's I try to say cheesy way into cheesy whale. Even if you have quite a cheesy whale, which is not a real animal, like that's not necessarily you're not learning anything to do that. It's very hard to like stop all kind of forms of cheese, right? The main thing is that and you don't encourage people to find some way of beating stuff if they can't figure it out. The right way of doing stuff. You don't want to make it feel like if they find some cheap way of doing it, they're going to learn anything, right? That's just pointless. But you do want to give some kind of sense of like thing. I didn't say that actually resistance, but whales aren't real. So
Oh, this one's not. It's not triggered.
oh, okay.
Wait, what is happening? What?
But these kind of portal based things I'm really keen on. I think are great. And I think portal based stuff especially is good. Just because repetition is helpful. But yeah, Ayaro says mentions UI feedback. Nick, can you turn on the if you go to settings, interface HUD, and then strafe synchronizer, set that to half with throttle. Interface HUD, strafe sync. Yeah. There's some stream delay, but yeah, I think that's probably fine if you not try that. And strafe. Oh. Can I see the settings again real quick? Oh, sorry. No, you do have it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, the stream delay, so I can't really see what you're. But like, just having this as like a quite clear, like intuitive, hopefully visual indicator for this. This is something that Peen did, by the way, that I love. Yeah, should just release it. Yeah, good stuff. We'll do that.
We're working
And
on
then
it.
the server crashes. But yeah, we're definitely like not releasing it just out of like spite and like dislike of people, not because it's not done, or because we're like somehow able to make all the actual game, but not able to like think.
It's because we added sticky jump.
Yeah, I like this, by the way, the jumpy thing. Yeah, also yeah, sticky jump. It's like cut the game back by like several years.
Just one mode responsible for that.
Yeah, I do.
How are you supposed to do
Yeah,
this? Just
it's much
straight.
better when people like say
Damn.
the angry release stuff in the Twitch chat than the YouTube comments, because we can be like sarcastic live. That's way better.
We are
should release
working on it, T Girl. We are getting Oteno out hopefully by the end of the year, which is open to everybody. But yeah, we appreciate the enthusiasm. Thank you for it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, this is really hard.
Yeah, this is really hard.
It is actually quite hard. That's the
What
thing.
the fuck?
But,
Oh, I think I'm getting close. Yeah, I can go on the sledge.
Yeah, I think if you make it to the ledge, that's fine.
Oh, I got it.
Nice.
This is not a beginner thing. What the hell?
Oh, okay. Did I make it to the white?
Good job.
Yeah, this is definitely a harder one.
for this
Yeah, I landed on the
system,
green.
And then this one
Is I
trains you
tending-
with going. Oh, never mind. Yeah, you need to land on like the green, but
O10 has been morphed into the replay refactor as well, right? So
Yes.
resistance, yes, completely.
Oh.
There's nothing in 011 that was like on the kind of 011 board that we're not putting in 010 pretty much.
yeah.
Season CS asks when we're trying to get public release out by the end of this year, which is
Yeah.
not full release, but it's public playtest. Leaderboards still get wiped at 1.0, but we're trying to get 010 out. Also, fucking hell, 010 is so much work, Jesus Christ.
But it's gonna be
it's kinda
amazing
not-
once it's in. 'Cause it's-
It is, and it's also really well made, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah.
And I think the game's gonna be doing new stuff after. It's gonna feel great, and yeah. We really are. We're doing a lot, and we're talking a lot as well. Like, there's a lot of decisions getting made daily. So yeah, you should be able to play after a 10.
Yeah,
Release.
I genuinely can't wait to get it in everyone's hands, because it's like once people. I mean, yeah, it'll change to be where's the maps, but yeah, we'll have map submission.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing is there's maps. If people, the main thing will be like, whoa. I guess his leaderboards getting wiped isn't a thing that happens until we actually do it. Maybe it's a bit harder for people to complain about.
Yeah.
But yeah. But also after our 10, we need to like recalibrate ourselves quite a bit to think through AC and all that stuff then, and other changes we have planned that we haven't spec'd out yet. But we really will get 010 out and then start thinking about 1.0 work and what we need for that. Personally, I don't even know if we're gonna have another milestone before 1.0. There might be one, but I could even see us not having a single one. Yeah, Tatu just saying replay refactor makes replays look like a demo. Yes, we've done that already. We've shown it off earlier.
Yeah, we showed it off a little bit earlier in the stream. So definitely catch the Q&A VOD. It's really cool. It's jank right now, but the idea is over the next couple of Q&As, we'll start showing like the full process together.
But also, it's not just that they look like a demo, but that they have everything in it. Like it's the technology is really fancy.
Yeah, you can see doors opening now. Entities are networked.
Yeah, the whole map state and stuff gets stored and all that. It's programmatically really, really complicated, but it's really powerful, and also gets used for save states and anti-cheat. So important stuff.
Oh yeah. Wow, Walter has slept through this entire stream. I'm very proud of him.
He's a good boy.
A lot of really nice looking RJ and SJ maps. I don't play those modes, and I'm not used to playing good looking maps.
No, TF2 map has set like really high standards for themselves.
It's awesome. I love. Yeah, I'm trying to play more of them because I feel like I always play Conk and like Bunny Hop sometimes.
Conk probably looks the worst out of all the maps, to be honest.
Because they're all old, but it's awesome to get that content in as well. Like that's something that we don't talk about a lot is like there's so many like maps from older engines and older games that we're really excited to get into Momentum for people to be able to experience again. I mean, it might not be up to the same standards that most like this you won't get. Well, there are some Quake maps that look kind of beautiful like this.
Oh no, some of the defrag stuff looks great.
Yeah, but
with all the lighting stuff being preserved, like it looks really solid. Nick, you need to shoot a lot lower.
Okay.
Or like, sorry, higher on the wall there, because you're getting way too much height.
Yeah.
Don't jump mappers just love dev textures though?
Well, look
That's
at this.
true.
I mean, this map looks great.
This is.
I really like Rapunzel as well, which is one of Ethan's like releases most recently.
Yeah.
But he's saying the rocket launcher looks cool. Yeah. So sorry, Ethan is, by the way, the guy who made Rapunzel, but also did all of our models, so the player model and all the weapon models, and yeah, they're pretty great. And so much work goes into them. Like so many parts of the models you don't even see in first person stuff. It's like 3D, like good 3D modeling work that you get. Like it's so. Is complicated, and he's done a fantastic job. Ayaro's asking, does Momentum has glass/refraction/absorption shader?
I think so.
Because last game when Learn section was mentioned, you guys said you wanted to keep it in the background aesthetic.
Yes, the main theming of our game with the white on blue kind of crystalline. Yeah, there's talks around potentially needing subsurface scattering for light to look good through it.
A subsurface, it's refraction, but it's also like caustics and shit for getting the light looking good. Like it's really complicated stuff that you can't do well in real time. Like
I know refraction shaders are broken on some maps.
Yeah,
and we could work on refracting more. Though a lot of the time, like shaders on the. I don't know what Valve's shader representation, like refraction shader stuff looks like, but it might well be like very mathematically sound and just looks a bit crap because of low like resolution stuff, or we don't have that many graphical programmers at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We have Sears evolved with Strata a little bit. Is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be great to have more of Slidey. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Slidey's like another like very knowledgeable all-round programmer who learns stuff fast. But
no,
having more Sears would be great because Sears is like one of the. He's like the most like knowledgeable graphic programmers I know, but also like very humble about it. And Sears is so great.
Yeah.
Sears is like you ask him questions about stuff and he just gives you like genuinely, he's like a professor or like a good one. As in like he really can answer stuff in a very clear way, but also understand stuff really deeply, which for like graphics programming is just so cool. Like I'm not a graphic programmer by any means, and I understand some concepts there, but not much and not very well. And those that like know it really, really well, it's just such a cool thing. I don't know. I'm talking too much. Sorry, someone else talk.
No, you're good.
Someone
you're good.
Someone
I'm focusing on playing. I haven't played Rocket Jump in so long.
What's your favorite concrete texture? Concrete 01, 02, 03.
Probably the one in Portal. One that's used everywhere in Portal.
Like the grid-looking one?
Yeah.
Or the first Portal, so like the clean test chamber one?
Probably Portal 2. I'm not sure.
Half-Life 2 has some really lovely concrete. I think concrete's a really good example of something where using something like this is me rambling again. Using something like Substance Designer, if you just apply a bunch of noise on top of one thing or whatever, that doesn't make something that looks great. Whilst if you look at like really good scans of like some of the polyhedron scans, for instance, like of concrete stuff, it is always going to be superior, or at least most of the time going to be superior to procedural. And also, I love concrete because I love brutalism, and
I think the problem I have with most of the Half-Life concrete is that it's like the game's supposed to be like apocalyptic horror.
Yeah.
So like if you try and make something that looks modern and clean with it, it just looks weird.
Yeah. But
there are way too many surf
maps
maps that overuse concrete textures. They look very dull and boring.
I think CS:GO had a lot of better textures for like making normal buildings because they have such a different setting.
Yeah. Also, we need to finally get the actual polyhaven stuff in the game because once those are available to people, like some of the polyhaven stuff is so nice.
Yeah, people don't even know about the PBR stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's been in the engine for I don't know how long.
It's been a while. It's hard to use, not very well documented. It's not that hard to use, and it's not that badly documented actually. What I'm saying, but with clustered, you gain a lot more from it, at least. But I think like really good concrete is so appealing for games, and I just want to get the polyhaven stuff in. I have this project of porting all the polyhaven stuff to Momentum, which has been around for, we showed it off the Q&A like about 2 years ago now, I think even. And I haven't had time to finish it, and no one else has adopted it from me, even though I've been trying to get people to. I was hoping Lody would, and I don't know if he's looked at it at all.
What needs to be done on it? Just like
well,
is it just a bunch of VTF
there's a
conversions?
couple of things. Some of the VTF CLI stuff is a bit different now because we have BC7 support, which we should be using.
I don't know what I was expecting with that.
Which is stupidly fast. The other thing was that actually we would really like to get ambient. What is that ambient CG? What am I talking about? Yeah, ambient CG support as well, which is another data source. But there's also we want to be able to filter stuff. And so I've been using a Google sheet in the past. I'm using a Python script that like passes it, but it's been really jank.
Yeah.
It's like it's just jank in a bunch of ways and not quite good enough to get us hooked up. And ideally, in theory, we could have this like part of CI in some way, or at least like part of team storage stuff, and in some way that we can run. Oh God, I'm too tired.
I don't know why I'm struggling with this so much.
If any people wanted to do it in Python, I don't even mind rewriting. I don't care if it's going to change a lot and it's not that much code. Give me a shout and we'll do it.
Yeah, I guess I got to get some pre-speed, huh?
You're also like not really looking where you're going.
Well, yeah, I got to shoot behind me to get me some thrust because otherwise I won't make it.
Yeah, you just got to do your psycho like rocket jump strafes that you get good at after a while.
Yeah, but yeah, getting those materials in. I mean, it's always fun to talk about the Acid Atlas as a kind of pie in the sky feature.
I think it's a really cool idea.
It's such an awesome idea that like we're gonna do a limited version of it with like some common mapper art packs.
I guess the reason I'm a bit skeptical of it is that, like, if stuff is getting used by a lot of stuff, it's just shipping stuff on Steam is not that bad, potentially, though.
Yeah, for sure. If there's, like, things that we could ship with the game, we will. Yeah, because ideally we have the base game just basically be, like, assets that you would find in the most common maps that you would play, including custom assets that we use for, like, learn and stuff, right? And then the Asset Atlas is another step onto that with, like... Yeah, just basically making BSPs as fucking tiny as possible, and then you like download or stream in a bunch of other stuff. We still need to also make cube map generation now that we can do asynchronous operations with rendering.
How fast can we get that?
It would do a side per frame, so it would.
Okay.
Like.
So sorry, that's how many? What's like an average number of cube maps for?
So it'd be 6 frames per cube map. Well, 6 or 8. 6, right?
Yeah.
It's internal.
Six.
Yeah, and then per cube map. So, but the idea would be that like we don't ship cube maps with the game. You generate them just asynchronously when you load it.
Someone's running 60 FPS. Isn't that actually like a decent chunk of load time?
It could be, yeah. But the idea is that we'd save on like almost like it'd be terabytes worth of like storage, like terabits of downloading.
Because we went for modified every map, I guess.
Well, it'd be a lumper job to just.
But also, we don't even. Well, yeah,
cube
but then people have to re-download it if they want anyway, because we invalidate the hash, and then more people downloading it. But also,
no, the cube maps would be separate.
We don't even pay for egress anymore, so
no,
the storage is something, but it's not that much.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's usually the biggest textures of a map are cube maps, and those can be generated client side. So that would be something that we would look into like optimizing with maps, because again, if we can get it to where you can build it locally and pack it locally, but it's like for our game we'll take them out, and then the game in like release mode or like for maps that that are on the selector, it does it. Like, you can always generate them locally, so like mappers can test and stuff. But
yeah, no, I'm just a little with the async stuff. If we can like do higher res stuff and do that like and still get it per frame, and then you get like a rendering improvement and stuff like that, then sure.
Yeah, maybe I should attempt SL with it. Just be like, man, I really wish I had.
Well, SL right now is doing something very, very exciting graphically, so I don't know
true.
what the result of it will be, but
better displacements.
Is that what it's doing?
Exclusively for displacements, yeah.
Oh no!
It'd be. Well, I mean, it'll make surfaces look like displacements, because it's
exactly. But can we add that to? Can we add like actual height mapping to better height mapping to PBR or something with SL stuff? Is the question.
I might not have seen fully. I just saw the branch.
I only glanced at it, but it's we don't just skirt around it, I guess, right? It's SL messing with tessellation shading stuff.
Yeah.
Which could potentially mean better real-time height mapping than parallax. Right?
That's right. Yeah. Sorry.
Though, do you worry with anything that's like actually extruding? You worry about collision looking different or whatever. So I don't know this stuff very well anyway. But...
Okay, I just don't know how to do this jump. I feel really dumb.
I just think you're.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I guess
You're not doing anything particularly wrong. I just think you're not that good at RJ.
Yeah, I need to practice.
You just need to play it more, I think. Yeah. If you get more used to it, you have to just flick your mouse quite a lot in RJ, and you're kind of
slow mouse movements here. Do we have any more questions?
Where did we get to? I think there was some stuff in Q&A low.
No, I think we covered.
I think we did all of them. So, anyone have any questions?
You have one in voice team for CDN cost.
Did we talk about that? I forget.
A little bit.
I know. I guess we didn't that much. We went through it before, but I guess So winterey asking, do you have an estimate for how much servers will cost, like hosting a CDN? In fact, we just spoke about this. So, right now. And in the future, we're planning on using Cloudflare R2 for our CDN side of stuff, which is free egress and genuinely is, as far as we can tell. And we're using it for some stuff now, for your 10 staging stuff. And you just pay for storage and for per read and per write. We do relatively few writes, so actually run submission actually does a write every time. We can be relatively clever with when we do reads, and it's really very cheap. It's like fucking $5 for like 1 million reads or something. And then, what is it? Well, less than that. No, I think it's like...
No, reads are like 50 cents per million after 10 million free. Yeah, the main thing is going to be storage. If we have terabytes of maps, then...
Storage is...
$15 a terabyte.
The standard storage is... Yeah, which is
not bad, because the majority of maps is actually not even a terabyte right now. And especially if we start taking cube maps and stuff out of them, because that starts. No,
that's a good count. No, it is. Yeah.
So like,
I just worry about like
optimizations that we can do.
You're right. I'm always such a cynic about these things, and you're completely right. We could actually go through them quite easily. We'd invalidate a bunch of hashes, and so the client would have to like re-download those maps for those that had them.
Yeah, like
But,
we could do it post 010, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we compress replays a lot? Yeah. I don't know exactly how they're compressed right now. I don't think.
I don't
there's
think they
any-
are. I actually don't think they are right now.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
think Rio looked into it, and it wasn't really gaining that much. But we could
Yeah,
look
yeah.
into it. It'd be really nice.
I'd
to
be
compress
interested
them.
to test with it. That's always a fun thing when you're writing, like
Oh, no, it's more of
formats,
this.
right? Is to think about like, well, how high is the like entropy of it, such that how much you gain by compressing it. And if it's a really well designed format, it's gonna be less compressible, right? In the sense that like you're not storing that much repeat information. I like
Yeah.
how you were like struggling with a tier 2, so you got a cube, which is a tier 4. Though it is
Oh,
easier.
cube is so easy. I've beaten it before.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's been a while, but yeah, I have. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. What are we
Yeah.
doing for compression stuff? We've been doing weird compression things lately. The static map list system we've got is just raw deflate. It's not even in an
Yeah.
archive. It's just that's fun. Why use that when you have zlib already in like Node and our source stuff already? So we just do a raw deflate buffer. Minimizing flow precision. I'm not sure exactly what is stored at the moment. I don't know if there's any like fine tuning float stuff.
Yeah, there was talks. Rio was talking about potentially doing some of that for replays. Yeah, because there's some
Okay.
stuff that we're storing all 4 bytes, and it's
They,
like,
they
we
are
need
actually
that.
pretty chunky right now.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
repos. But and that does save us on a lot.
So
I do think with some storage stuff like we do, just some of those costs, I don't actually think us stomaching them is like the worst thing in the world. If it's 15 a terabyte. It's a decent amount of money actually. Per
and that's
month.
just storage, and then
So-
there's access costs on top of that. If we're doing a ton of,
So
if people are
access
setting a
is-
ton of PBs and world records and stuff, that's where we'll start eating it because it's $5 per million. So if there's a million runs in a month, but also it's any write
Yeah.
whatsoever. So
Yeah, no, we're being quite conservative with that deliberately at the moment. We don't write that much, but I know we need to end the Q&A, but I am going to go get a little snack, so I'm going to be.
yeah, maps. Yeah, for the most part, maps are typically a one-time download for most players. It's not going to be too bad. It's just a matter of they're going to take the bulk of the storage. Replays, we only store PBs. We're only storing your PB on our server. You'll always have all of the runs you've ever done, and then we'll use Steam Cloud for your replay storage. So if you go to a new computer, you'll have them. But yeah, like our server, we're pretty optimized with like what we're trying to store, like how much we store. Damn it! I need to look down more. Yeah, like that almost. Helpful tip. But yeah, it's definitely something that, like, the other option is Backblaze using Cloudflare as an API, but or as a cache, and that's nice because they have the bandwidth alliance, so Backblaze doesn't actually charge you for anything there. And then if you store it in Cloudflare's cache, it'll, you know, it's readily available and really quick to download, especially for people in your region. And the thing about that, though, is that Cloudflare updated their terms so that you can only do that for things on their services. So R2, they're expecting you, if you're going to use cache, which we do, for static content like maps or the map list, right? Being a giant JSON file, those things are perfect for throwing into Cloudflare cache, and it's just like anyone nearby or near the cache node for you just pulls it into cache, and then you download from cache right, until it expires. Which for those files, probably
We still
like
pay for the cache, right?
no,
The cache read.
the cache
Oh,
is free. So that's
okay.
why it's like really nice, because if we move maps, if we can get maps into there, then we only incur the original cache stuff request for each of the nodes where it's cached. So ideally, right, it's being cached at some level that's like before it hits R2.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I
It's
should
between
just
like
stop
replays. Like
rocking
most
over.
people are going to watch world records and stuff, so
Play
those are
some
more
surf.
like to end up in cache,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh, banger of a map. Let's go.
Oh
Throwback
yeah,
to
there we go.
2009.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
Oh, I didn't even know we added that map.
Yeah,
I did no, just because I'm fond of it. It's a
So-
terrible map. I love it.
it's-
The other, I think you did tell me this actually, that the CFK stuff affected this, which is why our static system is so nice.
yeah.
So with O10, we decided to. We had this system before for the map cache where we kind of like every time you request, you do some like request to our backend with the map list, and so you request like, oh, I want all the like tier 4 maps or whatever, or tier 4 to 6 maps of some game mode or whatever. And you get some response from the backend, and every time it sees a response, it just adds that data to the cache, which includes the user data, or did include user data. So with the new system, we decided to split out the user data, which we now just store on disk and in Steam Cloud, and the non-user specific data and non-like real-time stats, like number of downloads or whatever, or such that we can just put everything in a single big JSON file. Like literally the entire map list is just one massive JSON file. And I was going to test this last night and didn't in the end, but I will do that. It seems to be very performant, but yeah, this is just deflate compressed, no header or anything. It's we just deflate compress like a big blob of text. And store that in R2, and then we have a versioning system in game that there's like a single endpoint just to get the latest versions of the map from the back end, and then it just fetches that from R2, and so it's very, very little. I don't think backend even right now it will actually do a DB call, I think, because we haven't moved this to Redis yet, because we've not done Redis stuff yet. But afterwards, when we do that, and especially if we're doing WebSockets in the future, where we get much less overhead for single requests than doing map versioning. In fact, with WebSockets, every time the map list updates, we could actually send a push to the client and just tell it to update the latest map list. And if we've got that caching system, then we're not paying for like anything that's just gone through one of like Cloudflare's edge nodes. Then it's really, really performant. But then a lot with our game code stuff, we've really improved how we store information like this at runtime, or like we used to be using the kind of typical source one format is key values. You see lots of stuff like weapon scripts and things that use key values as their like sort of primary data format for stuff, and key values is meh, like it works, but you then have to know the names of lots of strings. It's not well typed in C++. And
then like, convert it was a bunch of manual like
yeah. So what we now do is we use structs for stuff at runtime, because those are better.
Way better.
Way better. And it's a lot of, structs that are just holding structs of structs and stuff, and no weird like pointer shit. It's just structs containing structs and stuff, and it's just really, really nice.
Damn.
I think we can. Maybe we shouldn't talk about the internal system we use for doing all the serialization stuff or whatever, though. But yeah, it's great. It's a kind of Val thing that we've improved a lot and added really good JSON support.
What the hell?
It's a weird bug.
What happened to Radish? The floor looks weird.
I don't know.
Might be a missing texture.
But the point of that is that we get also for the serialization stuff, we're just using rapid JSON. If we really wanted to, we could use sim JSON, but it doesn't really matter. They're both so fast. And so we have like zlib plus rapid JSON for the mapless stuff, and it's just really performant, really cheap way to do lots of map data stuff at once, and it's great. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to getting that live and like having a really big map list. But sorry, and then the upshot is that like map selector or whatever can like if you're doing like filtering on the map selector, it's just doing that over like runtime C++ structs because it has the entire map list loaded at once, and it's not like a massive amount of data or whatever. Like it's fine to just have in memory, but it means we can then just query over it really fast. Like
Damn it. I didn't know how much headspace I had. It's coming back to me. I legit have not played this for like 10 years. I have not played this map in so long.
It's
Absolute
so jank,
banger.
but I love it.
Oh, I didn't even need it. Let's go.
I think I have like a decent time on this. I'm rank 18. Good job, me.
Wee.
There are some places in this map where I like really prefer to just be hop on the spine.
Yeah.
The map is just so jank. Like it's not smooth to go on the ramp.
Yeah, the spin on Radish this map is just fucking shite.
Oof, yeah. No kidding.
It's not the angle.
Everyone
not nice.
played with Sense 10 back in 2007.
Yeah, but it's also just like weirdly spaced and like.
And the server network at least has actually saved
so
every single
nostalgic.
SCV. It's a bit like several gigabytes a day. Baffled how they're paying
Oh,
for
really?
it. There's tiered storage. I mean, there's like, okay, that's the thing.
Oh,
is
yeah,
if you have things that you don't want to access, it's really cheap. Like you could get down to like pennies per gigabyte. If it's things like maps that you need to download, right, every so often and so, all right, like that
And
is
that's
where
that's a future optimization
Let's
we
go.
really could do if we wanted for certain replay stuff, right?
Yeah.
Putting that in
a tiered
and
or
I think
slower,
and R2 does have their like
yeah.
new thing, but
It saves
don't know.
like
I don't want
5 cents.
Oh
No,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
It's like
No,
$10 a
and
terabyte instead.
but also, given that like the overhead of running like S3 compatible storage is really pretty, like backplays or whatever, it's like a really reasonable thing for
Backups.
low frequency stuff like that.
Yeah.
That being said, for us with a team of our size, like we do also want to, whilst we're really very stingy about what we spend money on, and we will put quite a bit of dev time into making stuff performant because we don't want to be spending donor money on like shit software we've written. In some cases, like if it's a massive DevOps hassle to do like kind of multiple different storage layers and like bring more frequently accessed stuff from like one S3 store to another, like different providers or whatever, we might not do that just because it's more of a hassle.
Yeah,
But,
Glacier, AWS S3, Glacier is an example of it. We're not ever going to touch AWS. It is not meant for something our size if we want to be economical.
Oh, for sure. Well, it's not economical for anyone.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
Not
even like bigger companies, but
no.
It's nice because you don't have to
but also,
hire
like,
an engineer
you look
to
at
do
what
support.
AWS is doing, like, every server's the same.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of, for us, we might well be going with, like, it might be a previous gen, like, AMD Epic, like, Hetzner box. Like, and we just rent a whole server and whatever. And something like Hetzner as a hosting provider is something that, for one, with a lot of the environmental stuff are really solid. And, our storage share stuff, our team storage thing, which is just a Nextcloud-based Hetzner storage, I think, or whatever. Like, it's obviously some old machine with like crap specs or whatever. They're really good at reusing old hardware and stuff, and the energy policy stuff is really good. And OVH are good, but their support is worse.
Our current backend, the one that's hosting all of these maps and stuff, is still on OVH and has not burnt down yet. Very cool.
But like the thing is, like AWS at the end of the day is still running on. It'll be some big AMD Epic machines, and and they'll recycle their hardware. Or sorry, they'll upgrade their hardware more often to like the latest stuff or whatever. But like, at the end of the day, it's still mostly running on the same fucking hardware, right? And we're really interested in Kamal, which we're not using right now. But it was previously what was it called before? It's the thingy, the Mursk, DHH's thing, which is kind of
Ruby on Rails
ways of just I mean he's successful. I don't know much about him or like have strong opinions on him. But,
I forgot to do the end of carrot.
Who's on this map?
Me, I think I did it badly.
Yeah, because when you finish a stage, you don't gotta split right away.
Rip.
Are we gonna allow Beyonce on carrot?
yeah. No, the
The reason I
serverless
used to,
fad. Oh my god, I could rant about that for like 20 minutes.
it's
So
really
dumb.
yeah. This is your area more than mine, but it's fucking dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
dedicated box is the way to go. Ooh,
there's
ooh.
just at
We
the
got
end of
it.
the day, like,
Easy.
why have we? The software engineering world has done so much in terms of DevOps stuff or whatever. Why is it necessary to be paying so much money for these? Obviously, scalability is a real virtue and something worth paying money for in some cases, but like, there's just so
Well, that's the problem. Is serverless, the moment that you start scaling up, is so prohibitively expensive. It
expensive.
makes
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
fucking sense. It makes sense if it's
yeah,
something that you'll call once every often, like every so often, and you just really don't
yeah,
want to have a dedicated machine up. But what
yeah.
the fuck are you running where that's the case? Where it can't just be part of your own
Right.
like
But
infra?
the other
Like
thing is
what?
like with so all of our stuff, we're not using Kubernetes. Our stuff is relatively simple Docker container stuff.
Yeah.
You do fancy Kubernetes shit at work, right, or whatever, Nick, right? Like
It's it's microservice
you do
architecture written in C++.
right.
It's
We could do more microservicey stuff or whatever if we really wanted to or needed to. If we want more C++ stuff, we might in the future, and if so, we can. And it makes our prod stuff a bit more complicated, but it's not super bad. But like, we're not going out of our way to do microservices when we need to, right? Like
I don't know
with
how that
Nest, I am not a fan of Nest.js, which is the backend system we use, but it's okay, right? And the main thing I don't like about it is like it does certain stuff in quite kind of magical ways, and I much prefer using systems that are more kind of clear in how they work, and Nest is kind of dumb like that. At the same time, the performance isn't that bad. Another thing, we use Prisma for our DB stuff. ORMs are not good. Like, they're generally a bad idea, like if you're trying to do high performance stuff or whatever, but at the same time, in the future we're going to be moving a lot more.
Specifically high performance with
Prisma has a
but
bunch of really bad stuff, and the performance is bad, and it's also just VC
it's written
crap
in
or
Rust
whatever.
though.
Yeah, it's got an intermediary engine written in Rust because it's an ORM, so it needs an intermediary engine. Sorry, I got a hiccup. But yeah, like there's so I don't know. I think with performance and with hosting stuff, like what's really funny is recently Prisma came out with this thing called typed SQL, which is basically just you write a SQL query and then Prisma kind of interprets that and then tells you if the type definitions are wrong according to your schema, and then you can call it directly from Prisma. I've not tried it out yet, and I don't know if it has any overhead of the Prisma engine stuff, but I'm really annoyed because it seems fantastic. Like, it seems like a really great system that I'm really keen on. Like, I don't mind ORMs when they're used for writing, like, complicated queries easily.
Yeah.
Prisma is also fucking great for end-to-end testing, which we do a lot. Like, so there's this kind of I'm kind of in two minds about it. Like, I hate Prisma, and I just because every fucking VC company, right? Like you use them for a year or two, and then you realize, oh, why did we do this? Or why aren't we just relying on Postgres for everything and instead just like fucking idiot middleman?
Yeah, it's very true, Tattoo. There's a lot of like, we save $10 million a month.
Well, no shit you
No
did.
shit.
Like, come on. But the thing is, like, the software side of it is also getting better. Like, stuff like Kamal, it's
making it easier to do scaling. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't need. I guess especially because we're not making a profit, and we're not paying anyone to do our DevOps stuff. We're trying to do stuff just pragmatically. We don't need buzzwords and kind of aphorisms about how to do hosting stuff well. We need a decent degree of inelastic scaling, right? We do not need elastic scaling besides maybe 1.0, and at that point we are willing to spend a good chunk more money. But what we are not going to do is do some kind of really complicated kind of auto-scaling architecture stuff, because for one, it's more expensive, but also it's much more stress on us and more complicated from a DevOps point of view. And Nick is really pretty good with this stuff. I think you spent a lot of time on this, right? But it's still a big sort of extra cognitive load on us. And right now, our setup with just Docker stuff and some scripts, that's
Ideally,
I don't want to go
making
too much
it-
into our like internal stuff, but like the secret stuff we're doing now,
Yeah.
like, is so nice, and it's just so, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I've been really enjoying working on this with Nick. I have to say, like I think, yeah, no, I'm awesome. No,
it's a good thing.
but no, but it has been, like I think we're kind of approaching stuff with a pretty good attitude, and we're going to be not spending all that much money because of it.
World record pace. Let's go. Fuck. Fucking trees.
But also, I can't wait to optimize our DB stuff more, because right now we are doing everything with Prism. We don't need to. We can easily alleviate that and do the stuff we need to do fast. And Sentry has been great for that, because we have Sentry's like, I don't know why we're getting so much shit from them for free, because it's actually really quite expensive,
Well,
the
it's
hosting
open
they're
source.
doing for
They
us.
support open source, and I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it is,
trying to
but
bat for them.
they're a
at
profit-making
Blizzard,
company.
So.
They're a profit-making company. They're still giving our
Yeah.
stuff, organizations like us, Sentry access for a reason. But in our case, we really do get an enormous amount of stuff on Strata, of game bug reports and stuff. We get a ton. But with Sentry, we're using them for tracing, and it's made a lot of observability stuff much easier than we thought it would be. For me, at least, like, I was much more intimidated by trying to do some of the more complicated open telemetry stuff, potentially using Grafana for that.
Oh my god, I'm doing the world record route. Let's go.
That was
Holy
sexy.
Shit. Let's see if I can land it though here.
I've said this before, but my part of the source of my
No!
fondness of this map is, like, when I played this on servers before, but like if you beat this map, like the map ended and everyone went to the jail area and just shot each other. Like, nice surfers used to like just hang out in the trees here, and they just like they get to the end and they just wait there for other people to get to the end, which
Back
is great.
when my maps had jails, yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, no, it's fun doing a lot of DevOps work. I'm constantly looking at like improvements that we can. There we go.
Nick's really good at the level stuff, and you enjoy it. I hate it, and I'm bad at it.
Yeah.
I like the performance side of it, and I like thinking about stuff,
I can
the kind of pragmatism of it.
try
but
one more
you know, there's like, it's I don't know. I'm not a DevOps person, I guess. I do yeah, I don't know. I think I expect with 1.0, you know, we're not going to be completely optimal with our money and end up probably doing some like silly server upgrades or whatever, or buying more servers than we actually need at some point, just to make sure we actually do manage the like flux of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But that is just part of the same thing. And
I'd rather have more than less. It's really easy to scale down compared to scale up and panic.
Yeah, it's just scalability in itself is just so expensive.
Yeah.
Or that elastic scalability is so expensive. But yeah. But I am really happy with our stack. I mean, I don't like Nest.js, but I like Node. I know Node well. Like, Node's really reliable. And at the end of the day, when we need to make stuff really fast, we're gonna just do loads of it, just relying on Postgres and simple stuff. Also Redis eventually. Or we should stop saying Redis. We're just going straight to Valky. We're never gonna use Redis, which would be fun. Like, Valky 8 came out and it's amazing by the looks of it.
No. Okay, we're good. I think
genuinely,
you saved it. No, I didn't.
Redis labs just fucking shitting themselves.
Yeah, that was just really sad, but very deserved, honestly.
I was seeing some thing about it, apparently, like, when the whole thing happened, there was some conference going on of, like, a bunch of people that worked, like, Redis contributors all in the same place at the same time.
Really?
At some conference as this shit came out from Redis labs.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Valky became like a thing in like 2 days after the whole announcement of the and it's just beautiful. Yeah. You love to see it.
Poetic
Sorry,
justice
I don't know why
in
we're
the
talking
open
about it
source
on the
space.
Q&A. Yeah, no,
It's
it really
fun.
is.
It's nerdy
like,
shit, though. Yeah.
It's nerdy. Okay, for people that don't know, I guess to give a brief bit of context. So, if you want to do data storage in a really sort of high performant way, where you're like, if you're storing some information, you want to be able to access it really fast, and you want potentially a lot of servers to be able to access that same information, but you don't want to write it out to disk all the time. You wanted to keep it in RAM, basically. Redis and now Valkey is a way of doing that. It's a key value store. It's a quite simple database that can access data in memory in a very performant way. And the company that kind of makes Redis or kind of bought the company that people that make Redis and that
It was
work
a
with their
support company.
Yeah,
Yeah, they like
yeah,
helped people
exactly. And
set
they
up
kind of took over.
Redis,
Yeah.
and then they bought. I think
But then sort of basically took the whole trademark, and I think the lead dev, I forget his name.
gave it to him.
Stop. Yeah, and then about 6 months ago now, decided that they were going to change the license to no longer be fully open source. And unsurprisingly, given that like fucking everywhere uses Redis, including like practically every big cloud hosting provider, and they're trying to say cloud hosting providers have to pay us money to host stuff on Redis. Yeah. Also, not that we're simping for Microsoft or Google or whatever. Fuck those people. They're destructive bastards. But yeah. Where the open source version of like Redis immediately got forked. It was originally open source. The open source stuff gets forked, and it's now better by like quite a decent standard of in terms of performance.
Because they don't have to go through
with
the
the bureaucracy of it and the
bureaucracy of submitting fixes and stuff. So it's really cool.
It'll be fun to actually set up. Also, doing like with our TypeScript stuff has become so much simpler. Of the new model stuff I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, actually, there's some stuff with back-end code that's actually maybe a bit of work. Then I think about it, but yeah, we can do it.
Wait, how much work would it be to set up Valkey? Like, what's needed for that? I don't think we've ever really sat down and looked through it. Because Nest has a module that can start to just use it, right?
For API probably, but I'm not sure how much. We'll look at the module. If Nest has native support for it, I'll read it and see what it's like. And if a lot of Nest is just like extra kind of crap wrapper stuff around it, which I don't necessarily mind.
Keep bonking.
But getting the type system to work for it so that like
this map is so terrible. I love it.
I love it. No, it is genuinely like.
Oh my god,
good. Nick, you're just bad. You have no speed.
You
have no speed.
No, I had speed there.
The main thing with Valkey Redis stuff is just architectural design and that stuff that we want to talk through with Rio, and it's also just performance and like with some stuff like I'm really interested with the ranking system ideas we have of like this kind of perpetual kind of system of reading changes from Postgres to Redis and then recalculating rank XP stuff constantly. I'm so interested in that because it's something that we potentially do need to be very high performant because it is just something that's really. The thing is, if we're immediately changing ranking stuff as we write it, we might not even need to pull from Postgres in the first place. We might just be able to, call something in the ranking system as we're writing stuff to Postgres and also do the ranking calculations then, and not need that Postgres read because we might have the whole leaderboard data in memory anyway. It's really hard to say. And the system potentially becomes very complex when you're trying to deal with like dynamically sort of determining when something's in memory and when something's on disk in Postgres. And so when you have to kind of asynchronously like call the Postgres stuff when you need it, or use the Redis stuff when you have it. I mean, both of those are asynchronous, but like it's complicated. But and the question then also becomes like, oh wow, if we can get it really fast, do we write the whole thing in C++? Because I'd quite like to, because it'd be quite fun. But
the ranking, calculation and algorithm,
because some of it is actually very auto-vectorizable, right?
Yeah.
So actually quite worth doing in C++ there, because you really are going to gain stuff. I don't think Node is ever going to do any kind of, Node does all sorts of mass operation stuff, but when you're doing stuff that's actually, you're going to get some benefits. I think with the stuff we do.
Well, it's better than an interpreted language, so you're already having the benefit
Oh.
there.
Well, but it's also that the node will do some really advanced optimizations when it can with all nodes like JIT and ignition.
Like if
stuff.
we're talking just raw time to process, node will always take longer because of it being interpreted.
Well, it's going to depend in some cases. On some cases, when you have some node math is almost in weird cases is almost in par with C. But not because it's kind of skipping interpretation step. You have these. Well, no, I'm not qualified to say this. Exactly why. In some senses, you're going to have. Well, someone's going to yell at me for this. I could be wrong. Some of the benchmarks I've seen, I think, are sound. In some cases, node bytecode is going to be interpreted in a way that's you're not having an interpretation step. No, I don't think that's right. I don't know what I'm saying. There's the interpretation is it's the overhead is very, very little. I think is the idea. In some kind of bulk arithmetic cases, that can't be right though. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel like I'm gonna make an idiot of myself if I say anymore, so I'll shut up.
It's okay. We're kind of at the end of the Q&A anyway. We got 3 hours in. We just finished some Utopia and then we'll call it there. But yeah, we regularly do talks like this off stream.
Yeah, I know. We run out of questions and we just become the most boring people on the planet.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I just bonked.
I am genuinely really excited for doing the post O10 web design stuff because we have a lot of ideas that are kind of semi-concrete, especially with the ranking system stuff that Rio's got a lot of ideas for. But doing it well and like really figuring out it's going to be oh my, I cannot wait. I can't wait to get O10 out of the way, especially because
That really is how it feels, huh? Like it is just like this big hump that once we get out of the way, we open the door to like really fun, like
it's not just
quick
that,
progress.
Progress is always takes a bit longer than you expect, right?
Yeah.
But it's still, I think a lot of the lessons we've learned from O10 and how much more effective we've got and how good a lot of the people working on the project have gotten.
Oh, for sure.
I think so much of I guess any software development, but especially game design is about like trying to get in your groove and get really efficient with stuff. Like
I just got a no fail on vegetables.
Nice.
1 minute 54 seconds.
Ayaro,
rank 18.
Member, I can help.
Oh, I beat your time.
My time? No.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
But I'm one of the greatest surfers ever.
I beat you by like 40 milliseconds.
Dickhead.
Tom will have to grind that.
I hate this map. I actually don't like this map.
Hope what is really needed at O10 we'll have things that are it's mainly gonna be just the maps that are submitted.
O10, yeah.
And then just the system, the core system. So just downloading maps, playing them, doing runs. Just I mean, yeah, realistically it's just thinking about the systems that are in place and like doing things that are unintended or like we didn't think of.
Oh yeah. No, I think especially with our stuff, like there's aspects of our things that I think are pretty well tested. It's been programmatically tested, but other stuff that just isn't.
Yeah.
Then is just likely to be buggy.
Yeah.
We will. I think once I get my map code stuff in, I'm gonna really try to get the PR in. I don't know about like Wednesday or so. Then map submission stuff will work quite well in game on the O10 branch. And so people want to start messing with stuff around then, we can do that. So that's probably about a week off from now with review time and whatnot. I don't know.
All right.
Oh yeah, someone asked about KZ, but yeah, we've been going for a while.
Yeah, KZ will be ideally we have CS 1.6 in O10.
1.6 will be in, I think.
So it's just up to game chaos. So yeah.
Can we just ask this last question because I quite like it?
Yeah.
In 2018, I quit B-Hop. When I stopped playing again, Momentum was done. Are you worried that the player base might be gone when they get to play?
Before they get to play.
Before they get to play.
Having intentions around playing the game.
This is actually a question that does stress me out quite a lot. So I quite like answering it. I think there is a genuine sense that what we would like to say in an answer, I think what Nick was saying, and maybe I think a lot of it's probably right, and we feel differently anyway, but would be we'll get it out when we can, and we can't help it, but also we think people will come back to it if the game's good.
Yes.
Is that about right? Or like,
well, my answer, you know my answer. I've said it before. I'm making this game for me. I want to play it.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah.
Like if you don't want to play the game when it comes out, that's okay. But like the main thing is we are listening to the community. I'm listening to the community as well because I want to have an enjoyable platform. And obviously, right, like it's not I own the sandbox and like you guys are allowed to play in it or something. It's just like I want to know what's the best sandbox for everybody. Sorry, that's a bad term to use because I just said earlier that we're not a sandbox game. But still, it's like the idea is that I really just want to play the game. And what Tom was saying, if it comes out and it's really good, the game will sell itself. And I think that's what a lot of like AAA and stuff need to understand a little more too, is like the game just needs to be good. Like you can have hundreds of millions of dollars in marketing and have your game flop within a week, right? But for our game, it is just out of passion, out of love, out of multiple people that have come from multiple different backgrounds of different game modes. And it's like this centralized spot that you really just can't get anywhere else. And there's no benefit to waiting longer. Like we don't want to hold back development for no reason. Like there's nothing like that. It is just taking its time, which sucks because it should already be out by now, but it's just how it goes. And when the game comes out, if people see it and hear about it and play it, sweet. Right? We're hoping, realistically, we're hoping that people don't play it and then just immediately stop because there's so much to learn more than just the one game mode that you've heard of or seen, right? We're hoping that people come in, play some surf because they maybe miss it or heard of it, and then see what defrag is, see what AHOP is, see what RJ and SJ, right? Because they've never touched TF2 or something. Like see these modes and like start to like learn or like fall in love again with like, because you can fall out of love, like Half-Life 2 speedrunning for me, right? Like I used to really grind that and love that, but like I don't think I could do it anymore realistically. But AHOP, which is still an element from that or like a remix of it, like that is like so much fun and like really appealing to me as a mode. So like I just hope that like the game coming out being good, having content that you're used to and also new content that you can learn and dive into is really what's going to be the most appealing part of releasing Momentum whenever it comes out. And right now we're on track for O10 being at the end of the year. We don't have anything giant unforeseen consequences shit that would push it back unless something dire happens.
Well, no, it's more likely that we just don't quite make by the end of it, but
it's but we know what we need to do. So like,
so there's no guarantee we do get there. It is just about amount of time we have and how much work it is because it's still a shitload of work, but we're pushing for it. The Jiminy Glick or Jiminy G, so for 10 plus years, lowest player base since one CS. I don't think that's right. There's more.
I think there's more CSS.
CS2 is still unsurfable.
Yeah.
Yeah, CS2 is shit, but also
I've been hyped for that game for like 13 years. Yeah. It was just a disappointment.
No, but the reason I sort of say that like I'm slightly calling you out on your answer a little bit, Nick, because I think it's right to an extent. There is the fact that Surf and especially Surf, B-Hop and Climb are in a shitter spot now, and also with TF2 stuff, like with just Valve neglecting TF2 and fewer players, like there are fewer people getting into the game because of that, and that is a genuine worry. The issue for us is there's not that much we can do to speed up our current development process.
And letting people in right now is not a good idea because of our backend being on shit hardware and like would catch fire. Yeah.
There's with O10, we have really had to do a lot to. We're fine. O10, we talk about O10. It's also O11. So much of the stuff that we need for 1.0 is in the next update. It's given how much work we're putting into O10 right now. I'm not that much personally thinking about stuff straight after then. That being said, once we reach that point, I think very rapidly after that, we will start again thinking about cutting corners. There's stuff I really, really, really want to do, including improving how our game to back-end networking stuff works with HTTP and WebSockets. There's a chance we don't even do that by 1.0. I'd be perfectly happy to get 1.0 out before that if we can, if we think our servers can handle it, though this would be a big server speed up. Like, I absolutely think that once we get O10 out, we should immediately start thinking about what are the things we need the most for 1.0. How do we focus on those? What can we jettison?
Yeah.
And whilst it is quite depressing to do and hard to do, and especially as people, the way we have other stuff going on in our lives, and we do want work on this game to be something that is satisfying to us in a way and enjoyable, and like, I get that, like, to a lot of people, momentum is just a thing of like, when is it going to come out? And if it's not out, they just feel sort of frustrated by it or whatever. But like, we have to work on this thing. Like, this isn't just what like mundane work that we do and get paid for, whatever. This is stuff that we're doing in our free time, but is also really intellectually challenging, and we have to make decisions that are genuinely really, really challenging and take a lot of thought to get right. And if we don't get them right, then we have to redo it in the future, and we want to avoid that at all costs. Like, this is stuff that's not stuff that we're just kind of doing willy-nilly and it just gets done eventually. Like, we actually have to do this well to get the game out. We can't just do it and then eventually it comes out, because I think it wouldn't work very well. Maybe we could, but yeah.
But
It would take longer and be worse. But like I guess what I'm trying to say, we're putting so much into this, and we are really trying to get. I think we're getting quite close with O10 to actual release. I hope AC isn't that much after that. I hope it's significantly less work than O10 overall has been.
Yeah,
I genuinely think that we can be doing, and with AC and stuff, we really can try to do some of it quite fast. And I guess on one hand, what I'm trying to say is I appreciate why people feel that like momentum not coming out sooner kind of is this kind of great loss or whatever. But there really isn't that much we can do in some of those regards, and it's not something we don't think about, and we're not idiots. There might be some stuff we're doing imperfectly for sure, but I think we are being pretty reasonable with a lot of this. But then we're not. I don't know. We also can't let this project become something that is killing us. Like,
Right.
it's absolutely
It's a
miserable to
delicate
work on,
balance.
and there's nothing that we can do to take pleasure in stuff. Like, we want to show off O10 stuff on the Q&A. Like, we're not going to do that with kind of somber looks on our faces, being like, "Oh, this is what we've done this week. We're really sorry it's not out yet, but like, this is what we've got so far." Whatever. No, we're going to take pride in what we've done so far, right? And there's just only so much we can like, yeah, berate ourselves for stuff not being out yet. Personally, I do it to myself all the time and think about this stuff constantly. But like, as a team and other stuff, we're not letting everything be just completely miserable just because everyone's desperate. We do have to have some love for ourselves,
You said it for a couple Q&As ago. It's not our fault that Valve tanked CS:GO the way they did.
Also,
and
that,
like using that as an example against it sucks. It sucks that you guys do not have a proper like surf platform, and that they didn't just make CS2, like they didn't turn off just matchmaking in CS:GO for like, anyway, very weird way that they handled it. Yeah,
no,
and it
just weird,
sucks.
but just downright appalling.
Yeah.
Like, really genuinely incompetent, and people should be angry at them for it. Like,
Yeah.
and also, we try to make Valve our friends, but fucking hell, Valve did a fucking awful job with it.
Yeah, and it was just really annoying to see that, because if our game was more prepared for a public release, we could have capitalized on a public playtest earlier. But it just, there's so much work that we need to do, that it just doesn't make sense to open it right now, mainly because of the map. We don't want to add more maps if we can help it, and things like that. Like, it's just,
but we're
like,
trying to, as soon as we can actually get stuff public, we will.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing with O10. We've
With
agreed
O10.
that we are going to,
Yeah.
we
So-
still are going to have to do a wipe at 1.0, at least,
right.
almost certainly, or at least like
No, we
well,
will.
at best we'd have to do a partial wipe, but it's just not really feasible. We could even do that. Like, there's
No,
going to
we're
be.
doing a full wipe. I want everyone to be on a clean slate for 1.0.
Sorry, yeah, fair
That
enough.
is
Okay.
my
Yeah.
override. That is the first time I will override that fully. Yeah, it's gonna be a fully
Yeah,
clean slate at
agreed.
1.0.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay.
But yeah, but in the meantime, people could get in, port maps, test out maps, test out all these new features and stuff, and just like see what Momentum's all about. And that's the thing is we don't want, hundreds of thousands of players to come in, see that there's not that many maps and then leave or whatever, because that doesn't really help us either. Like that was the main reason we've been private for our, or didn't really think about opening it up until 1.0, but we like.
But it's not just that. There's just so much. If stuff broke, like if our current backend breaks, it's a nightmare for us.
Yeah, for us to fix what we currently have.
We've
It'd
rewritten
be
the whole.
interesting to see how far it
fucking
could go,
thing.
though. How many requests per second it gets before it burns down another OVH.
Oh, it would
data
do
center.
all right. It would probably be fine, but we're not going to.
It'd be really laggy. Yeah, it'd be like logging in would probably take like 15 seconds or something. But it's we're really looking forward to getting this out so that people can hopefully find some safe haven. I mean, the main question that I have, right, is if Momentum comes out and people are playing, or O10, right, come out, people are playing it, and CS2 magically the Valve devs care about Surf and they fix it, what happens?
They're not going to do anything very well. They've just set.
But what happens? Do people that are playing Momentum stop playing it? Was us coming out just a convenience, or was it something they were genuinely looking forward to? So that's why I'm making this for me, right? Like I can't really think about how other people want it. If other people want it, that's awesome and that's great because we're making this as like a community platform. But I personally am invested in this because I want to play this game, right? I want to play the final vision of this game of like kind of a 1.0 or 2.0 version. So yeah, I
want to give my take on it. Sorry, I know.
I thought you did. Sorry.
Well, okay, but as in that, I do really care when people say that they're impatient for Momentum, and it does stress me out a lot. I get quite emotional about it. I really don't like it. And I try not to respond too snarkily to some of the YouTube comments, but it does genuinely stress me out when those people do that. Because, for one, it makes me stressed because I don't want to get Momentum out more, but it also makes me feel worse because I'm like, why the fuck am I working on this thing for these people? These people are cunts. I don't.
That's
sorry. I shouldn't call the player base cunts, but
there are some.
Some of you people are. Sorry,
but not. It's not. Yeah, it's not a majority. It is a very, very loud, very, very small minority people that really want to play a good surf game right now. And CS2 doesn't exist. CS:GO, it's and then CSS is a pain in the ass or whatever, right? Whatever the reasons are, Momentum's the best option. It's just not here yet, but we'll get it out. Yeah. It just has to be ready. That is exactly right.
If people do want to help get it out, you are welcome to contribute. We're maybe a bit. We can't just say that. We just need more people and we can get it out because there's only so many people who can license for game stuff, and right now most of our work is on a closed source game code. That being said, if people do actually care, you need to spend a bunch of time learning our web stuff or whatever, and it's a shitload of work you have to do. People do want to put a shitload of work in to get Momentum out sooner. Come and work on Momentum. This is something that people can do. Also, you got a job. You might well get better job prospects from it.
I got my job in the games industry because of Momentum, and it's not even out yet. Imagine working on something that does release.
I'm genuinely excuse me. I'm genuinely learning a lot of new things from this project. A lot of things about C++ specifically.
Yeah, for C++, it's you have to get licensed to do that. But oh my god, it's really good for learning C++.
Yeah.
I know what a pointer is now.
But we'll end it there. We'll end it there
Yeah,
before we ramble too much. It is coming out. It is a labor of love. It will be out in your hands at 010. And then at 1.0, we do a giant celebratory release, maybe a tournament, maybe a mapping competition and stuff. Like just get a lot of community buzz going around 1.0 for the full, like you can play it and not have to worry too much about stability or whatever. Yeah, and it's exciting. It's exciting, and we appreciate everybody's patience as we work towards it. But that's where we'll end this stream. We're 20 minutes over now. Yeah, 30.
Yeah. Oh,
all right.
shit. Oh.
Anyway, yeah, I'll find you guys somebody to watch. Somebody streaming. No, did you want to stream, Tom?
Fuck no. I'm gonna bed. Jesus Christ.
You don't want to do
Been
a
up for,
24
like-
hour. That's fine.
I could
I
just play
really
Travis
do.
by streaming for like 6 hours. Like,
but yeah,
Christ.
definitely join. I think we still have exclamation mark Discord. Yeah, we do. Definitely join our Discord. That's the most up to date way to stay, or is that best way to stay up to date with us. Best way to date us just through Discord. That's how we fund this. Anyway, yeah. Go watch whoever you want. I don't have anyone to raid. Sorry.
Don't we? Wait. Oh yeah, probably don't. Checking.
Anyway.
No. Okay.
Yeah, we do these
yeah.
every month. Every last Saturday of every month, we do one of these Q&A streams. So join our Discord, ask us questions there and there. It's fun to answer. And then, yeah, we will answer them live, play the game, show off more of the game. That's really what we're trying to do with these Q&A streams, is show off our progress that we're making, if possible, and then play the game and show you guys the game as well. But yeah, cool. All right. Well, no need to raid. Go watch whoever you want, and take it easy.
Later.
Thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.
I just got that fucking hell.